Shout out to the 90 Day Fiancé Fridays crew.
Hey, this is Liz, and you're listening to 90 Day Fiancé Fridays.
All right, welcome everybody to 90 Day Fiance Fridays. It's Mariah here with George and Gina, and by Mariah I mean Shabooty. What's good, everyone?
Well, hello. Happy Friday,
Hello.
everybody.
Friday the
So,
13th.
It's Friday the 13th. Yeah, it's my favorite day because it's like a bonus Halloween. I'm really obsessed with Halloween. But I wanted to ask you guys, because yesterday I was out living my best life and y'all had an amazing 2-hour Patreon exclusive podcast that I listened to today. And I just wanted to ask, are you guys a little hungover today? Because y'all had a lot of fun last night.
I didn't drink.
Like, I'm not necessarily hungover, but I'm definitely like low energy, probably because of last night. I don't know.
I mean, I didn't realize because when I was listening, I had to put it on 2 times speed because it was like 2 hours.
Yeah,
And
well,
I
it was
was
1 hour and 40, but yeah.
Yeah, and I was cooking, but you know what I was cooking wasn't going to take that long, so I was like, I got to speed this up because I'm not going to be able to get through this because I wanted to at least know what was taking place in case something was brought up. I would at least, have an idea of what you're talking about. And it was a very after dark episode, very after dark. And I was very surprised that Shabooty was sharing some of his wild encounters because he's never really done that
I
before.
rarely offer
I think that was the liquid courage and Jenny.
I rarely offer up my own tea.
That was very crazy because the whole time we've been doing this show, I think I've said some wild stuff.
Like JLP will say anything.
Well, yeah, but you're normally not a participant in those conversations. So I was very surprised, and I was like, "Dang, the one day that I'm not there, this is what's happening." So yeah, if you don't subscribe to the Patreon, you're missing out because you'll never, ever, ever hear Shabooty talk like that on a free podcast. Like, you're never gonna hear it. It's not gonna happen again. If you think that he's gonna slip up, you're not. So you're gonna have to just cough up the $5 and get on that Patreon because that's the type of stuff you're gonna hear. It's not 90 Day Tea, but it's just as interesting. I was like, what? Really? I was like, I don't know, because I feel like Shabooty comes across as a square. But it's funny when you hear like the actual stories because you're like, oh, maybe he's not a square at all.
No, I like after the show. I'm trying to think. Well, first of all, I was gonna say, yeah, that's paywalled Shabooty. And then the other thing I was say is like after the show, I thought of this like other story. So yeah, it's like, but it's like that's how it is. It's like if you don't think about the stories, they're not really in your head. But then when you think of one, then it makes you think of another one. So who knows? There's other stories rattling around in there, but I'm definitely uptight for sharing.
Well, yeah, and it's drinks and paywall if y'all ever want that. But me, Captain, and Cocco, we'll just tell y'all. We'll just tell you if you really want to know. You don't even gotta pay. We'll just tell you the weird stuff that we've done. But if you want to know that stuff about Shabooty, you're gonna have to pay $5. It's definitely not something you're gonna get out of him for free.
Yeah.
No.
If we ever get like Liz back on here, like I feel like if we get Liz back on here, we should at that point we should try to, we should tell her our crazy stories and get her reactions.
I mean, yeah, I think Liz needs to see that side of you because, like I said, you come across as a square, and I think Liz is looking for like a edgy guy. Like she was with some guy on a motorcycle. Like I think she's looking for that edge, so she needs to see this edgy side of you, so she can understand what she's missing out on, right? Because let's be real, Jason wasn't very edgy. Right? He wasn't edgy, and Ed is Ed. I don't even know how to describe that.
Well, he's pretty edgy, but
right.
He's a blob.
So I think that you might be that mix between edgy and square that she needs. Usually when it comes to a woman, they either go far to the left or far to the right. They either get a guy who's like a crack dealer or they get a guy who's an accountant. It's like one or the other. I feel like you're right smack dab in the middle, and that might be what she really needs.
True, or I could have been edgy, but now I'm like retired edgy, but who knows? I'm sure she could bring.
Oh yeah, like Sarper, retired bad boy,
Yeah.
retired. Like you used to be that guy, but now you're taming it down. You're not sleeping with 65 women a week. You've tamed it down. You put in your player's card, and you're ready to slow it down.
Yeah, but if I was with Liz, I would of course bring the edginess out to keep her on her toes, you know.
But
Well,
she
yeah,
doesn't know that.
True.
yeah. So she needs to know that you have that side that she doesn't know. Because you, first of all, also you're sweet on her, so she doesn't even see like that edgier side. Because like when you talk about certain cast members, you have that edginess about you where you're just like, I don't give a fuck if they like what I say or not. But when it comes to Liz, you know, you're very careful with how you talk. So I was like,
You know my favorite. You know one of the parts of the last night's Tipsy Thursday 90-Day Fiance Thursdays episode that I liked was when and Jen, we got to give Jenny a huge shout out because she's the one with all the crazy stories that she unveiled for over an hour last night. So shout out to Jenny from Toronto. Um, but I liked when Jenny asked me, she's like, "So, I mean, are you really like that into Liz? Like, are you really interested in Liz like that, or is it more like a shtick?" And I was like, "Let's just put it this way: I'm into Liz like I'm into you, Jenny." So I think she got the message.
Yes, and here
oh
I
wait,
am. Like,
so Jenny is on the list of hot.
yes,
Oh, wait, why did I not know this? I didn't know that Jenny was on the list.
here I am trying to play love connection between the two. I'm like, well, we can always do 90-Day Fiance, like USA to Canada, hop, skip, jump. Let's go, Shabooty. Let's do this. Let's go. Come
True.
on, you
That
can
is
do
true.
it.
That would be a huge twist if
But it is
Shabooty was on the show.
like I like Jenny like that, but then it's like it is weird. I said this last night, but it's weird hearing all of her insane sexcapade stories because it's like, you know what I mean? It's like I don't know. She's entertaining and she's attractive and all that, but then when you hear like nonstop crazy sex stories, it's like at some point it's like, oh, she's sounding like Sarper. No, I'm kidding.
Well, see,
Well,
that's
she
not a
like crazy with the sheets. Like,
yeah, that's not a
you be
red.
part of that.
It's not a red flag for me. I think that see, I don't know. Some guys want like a nun. And I'm not like that. I don't need my girl to be a nun. I want her to teach me something. Like, you know how
She
guys
could
are
be
like,
a lady in the street and a freak in the bed. And clearly
yeah,
she is a
it's
lady in the street and a freak in the bed.
well, it's funny because Sarper always tells Shekinah whenever she mentions like an ex-boyfriend, ex-husband, anything that has to do with a man, he's like, don't talk about it. I don't want to hear. I don't want to necessarily hear like play for play what they did, but if she learns some tricks and tips, you know,
No, and then like no, because then we'll hear stories of like some of the guys she's been with, like she even and this isn't me like saying anything untoward. This is what she said. Like she always has these stories where she ends up with like dudes and they end up being like racist and shit. So it's like she's been with some shitheads like that. Which did like that's not necessarily a good look, even though that's not necessarily her fault.
no.
I'm just saying.
But we can't blame her for specifically because they're racist. Because some people are closet racists. So
Yeah.
like she
Yeah,
might
and that's
not
what
have.
she said too.
Yeah.
That's what she said too. Closet racist. She didn't know because obviously she's like Korean Canadian and first generation, and she obviously doesn't know, right? Because obviously that
True. Oh, and I mean, well,
she's not Caucasian, right? So
let me just say because I know she's a super fan and she listens back to as soon as like she's one of the as soon as like the show gets uploaded and goes live, she's one of the first people who listens back to it. So let me quickly like just reel it in the sense of like love you, Jenny. If I said anything stupid tonight, don't mind me. You're obviously all green flags and yeah.
Well, yeah, I love Jenny. I love her stories, and I think she's great and she's beautiful and she's lived like a life. Like I told her, she should write a book of her
Mhm.
sexcapades because it's so astonishing that one person could have sex in so many different countries. Like, it's just like I feel like it should be a movie or something, probably a Cinemax movie because the
No,
subject matter.
she
yeah,
was telling a story about like I don't want to give her tea. But like she was with some dude, I don't know if it was Costa Rica. She's on like a ATV or four wheeler or whatever. And like
Costa Rica.
yeah, she's looking up at the stars. And next thing you know, he's like going down on her. And then she's at some party and there's somebody's offering her Coke allegedly.
from a Buddha statue.
Yeah, so it's like,
What?
these stories are like, Jesus Christ, like I'm apparently not living my life to the fullest.
Well, yeah, she makes me feel like some sort of pope. Like when I hear the things that she does, I was like, man, even on my craziest nights, I was not partying the way she was. Like I was not partying. And I was like, and I've lived, okay, I've lived, but I have not lived the way Jenny has lived, and I'm envious. I wish that when I was younger,
It's
I
like
did that.
her level of partying. It's like that. It's like the hot chick privilege kind of partying. It's like where a lot of doors are open to you.
Well, yeah, I think that women have a huge advantage. I say it all the time. I was like, if I had breasts, all the doors that would be open to me. Like when you're a man, you have to go and pry that door open with a crowbar. But when you got big tits, the doors just swing on open like there's a ghost in the building. They just swing open as you walk by. So yeah, it is a little unbalanced. The hotter you are as a woman, the easier it is for you to have an amazing night, right? For a man, it's not as easy.
Yeah, for a man, it's like it's kind of like Haley's Comet and the moon's aligned, but for a woman, it's like, well, this is Saturday, so let's get it on.
Well, yeah, you just got to show up and things are going to get crazy, right? You just got, like, for a man, you can show up and nothing happens because no one cares. For every guy, there's 700 hot chicks. So, to get anyone's attention it's way harder. So, but yeah, Jenny, she brings it every single time. Jenny and Lana, like, they really, really blow my mind with the things that go on in their lives on a daily basis. I don't know if I'm jealous or if I'm happy that I don't have the craziness, because the stuff that Lana has told us, like for instance, her two exes are both dead. Like I don't know if I'm happy that I don't live that
The,
crazy life or if I'm jealous.
the condom story, the rifle, yeah, the list
It's a
can go
lot.
on. Those two and like our Cocco, like the Cocco, like Cocco Vegas Cocco. Oh my
Mhm.
God, I would just sit there and like if they did a movie, I would just sit there and watch it for hours on end, hours.
True. But
Yeah, Gina,
well, I was
you
gonna say,
met,
Gina, you've had an exciting story. Tell us how you when
yeah,
Debbie.
you met
So,
someone really cool, and I'm really curious to know how that went. Yeah.
um, so we did the podcast on Friday, as you know, and then on Saturday I woke up early and was like kind of contemplating because it was an outdoor festival, and with the events that occurred in my city in April, I was kind of apprehensive to go. And I'm like, you know what, it's really early. Like, I would want to get there early because I'm going to another festival afterwards, right? Indoor festival. So I was like contemplating, and then I messaged the group chat. I'm like, hey guys, should I go? Should I go? And I'd be drinking anyway, so I was gonna drive, or so I was gonna take an Uber, right? Like, so I just decided to get ready and go, and like met. So I got to the bake. I knew where the bakery was. It's like an Italian Portuguese bakery, and then was looking around for her, and I'm like, okay, I don't see her, but I see Tony. He's talking with other people, so I'm not going to interrupt him because that's the way we are in Canada. I'm not going to interrupt. I'm going to be like cordial about this, right? So I don't see her, so that's fine. So I ran into I guess the owner of the bakery, and then I had asked her, I'm like, oh, was kind of looking for Debbie from 90 Day Fiance. Do you happen to know where she is? Because she said she would be here, and I didn't see her inside. So she asked me if she can help me with anything. So I was just like, oh yeah, blah blah blah. I told her. She's like, oh, she's right outside. She's sitting down. So I guess they brought some chairs.
Well, like Gina, Gina, speak louder if you can, or something.
Okay, so can you hear me better?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so sorry about that. So I guess the owner had brought in some chairs from outside, like from inside, because it's like a cafe as well.
Mhm.
And then what had happened was like, oh, she's right over there. Let me introduce you to her. I'm like, okay. She's like, what was your name? And then that's how that happened. And then, so I met her. She hugged me. And then I was talking to her outside for a little bit. And then I told her about the podcast and whatnot. And I'm like, oh, but you know what? It's if you don't want to do it because, like, I understand you're outside, like, and like just medically, right? Like the legs and stuff like that. I didn't see her with a cane or a walker or anything like that, so she was fine. And she's like, oh no, we can do like, and like wanted her to do the voice a video first, and I'm like, I mean, that's not gonna work out.
Gina, I adore you, but you sound like you're in a fishbowl or something.
Oh, Okay, what about now?
Now you sound better.
Okay, I just won't move then, other than my lips. Okay, sorry. So I asked her, I'm like, oh, well, we want you to do a voice note, but it's kind of loud outside because there was like parades going on with loud music and like marching bands and stuff like that. So I told her, I'm like, oh, it like you can say no, it's okay, right? Like I got it. And then Shabooty's kind of a like when it comes to sounds and as we know, and background noises and whatnot. So she's like, "Oh, we could go inside and do it." I'm like, "No, I don't want to take up your time."
But
Then
like you said, like she knows.
like she was kind of like thinking, I'm like, Shabooty, George Mossy. So I started listening. It's like, "Oh, yes, yes, yes." And then I'm like, "Yeah, Shabooty's anal when it comes to noise, right?" And like he's awesome at what he does, but I don't know where he finds half of that stuff. He like he's brutal sometimes. But it was in a good way. We were joking about it. I'm like, he's pretty brutal sometimes. And then I'm like, it's just like, oh yeah, kind of like he's my boss. I report to him, and this is what he had me do. So then we got on side. She started doing. I was gonna write it down. She's like, oh, take my phone and write down what you want to say. I'll say it. She's like, oh, should we do a video? I'm like, maybe not a video because I didn't want her reading it off her phone or whatnot. And I didn't like,
Gina, we're losing
post it on Instagram, her actually saying it. I just didn't want her to do a video.
Okay, Gina,
and reading off her phone. So I took, so I'm like, okay, let me write it down.
Wait, Gina, what's going on? Because
hello,
you're kind of like you muffled somehow. Like, what happened?
hello. Can you even hear us, Gina? I don't think she could. George, you could hear me, right?
Yeah. Okay. Gina. It says that Gina just left.
Okay, that was a bad story.
Something is going on with that, but yeah, we have to talk about how she got to meet Debbie, and it's interesting that Debbie called you brutal because I was gonna ask you. Oh, she said Zoom kicked her out. Well, come back in.
Exactly.
So I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about that term? Do you feel like you're brutal, or do you feel like people are just too sensitive? Because I was like, I don't know if that term is fair.
I wouldn't say brutal, but I feel like with Colty, I had insanely hot Colty tea in the last like year. So brutally in the sense of like you got brutally burned by the hot tea. That's about it.
Yeah, I didn't like that word because I was like, brutal seems a little harsh. Because the truth can sound brutal, but it doesn't mean it's brutal. It's just the truth, And
sorry, guys. I don't know why my Zoom kicked me out. So
Maybe the internet connection was.
Yeah, your connection was getting weird because you started getting muffled towards the end. So I guess this is good because now you sound clear again.
Okay. I'll have to get my headphones because I'm in my basement and I don't have headphones on me, but this will do for the time being. She said that, oh, are you watching Hunt for Love before we went inside? And she had asked, and I'm like, yes, I am. And she just said that, oh, we're gonna, you'll see a different side of Colt on the Hunt for Love. I'm like, okay, well, I hope it's not his bare ass again, but okay. Inside my head. And then we just proceeded inside. She did the voice note, and then I was explaining to her because they sell a lot of like Portuguese imported products, and I bought something from the bakery too because I didn't want the bakery to think I was just kind of there just for her, which was true. But
Yeah, she did an amazing like shout out intro for the intro of the podcast, which I know I've used once or twice, but I'll try to use it more often. But because it was really good.
And so, but there was some like like you can hear some music that was playing in the bakery in the background, so I couldn't edit that out or tell them to turn it down. So
is this the part where I can ask questions?
Yes, you can ask questions.
Okay, because I have like a million questions. So
you always do.
Is she tall, short? Because I feel like she's really tiny. So give me an
tiny. Idea. She's short. Like she's
like is
shorter.
she like skinny and short and it kind of looks like 4 feet tall? Because that's kind of how I feel.
She's not 4 feet tall. She's probably a little bit short. She's probably like 5'2" to 5'3", and she's not like bigger. She's like petite for her size, like as in height wise. And she's not like a large woman, but she's also not like a small like size 2 woman. She's like an average size like lady for her age, like weight wise and whatnot.
Okay, what about, because I've seen her walking with a cane. So how was she walking when you saw her?
She was walking fine. She did mention about her like bad leg or whatnot. So I was just like, no, sit down. It's fine. Right. We don't have to do like, we don't have to, when we went inside, you don't have to do the video. Like, let's sit down, like, and whatnot, and we can talk. And yeah, she wasn't like walking with the cane, but she did mention she had some bad knees. So I didn't mention the Portland post, was it? Or the Oregon post when she was in like
The motorized. Yeah,
wheelchair. Yeah, I
that was
didn't mention that because
yeah,
I
that was a little concerning. So I'm glad to know that she's walking fine and she's doing better. Okay, so Tony, 6 foot tall. I feel like Tony's really big.
yeah, he's quite taller. I remember he was like looking for her. He couldn't find her outside, and he came inside. He's like, "There you are. What am I? Chopped liver?" I'm like, "Oh, hi, Tony. I'm sorry. You were like talking with other people. I wasn't going to interrupt, right?" So, and then he asked me because I was wearing a Portugal jersey because I was celebrating Portugal Day, which happened to be on June 10th. But I was after that festival, I was going to another festival. And he asked me about the crest on my jersey, and then I told him, and then I'm like, I'm actually going for Portuguese food after. You guys are more than welcome to come. Here's the location, and they have alcohol. They're like, oh. So, and then we're talking about other festivals that are going on and happening in the city, and I asked them if they're going to go to a different festival that was happening the next day, and one that's near my house as well. And
So wait, so do they live by you? Like, are y'all neighbors?
we're not neighbors. Vancouver's pretty big, and we have tri-cities of like, so Vancouver, like, what's the closest city to you?
Um, Daytona Beach.
Okay, and how far is that in minutes? Not like,
Like an hour and 20 minutes.
oh, damn. Okay, so our
So like,
cities,
yeah, so I'm in Orlando, and then there's Daytona Beach if you go to the right, and then an hour and 29 minutes to the left would be Tampa.
so we have what's like the Lower Mainland, which is in Vancouver, and then we have Richmond.
Like,
Uh,
wasn't it Gina? Are you close to like Stanley Park?
no, that's in downtown. I can't afford that.
Oh.
No.
So wait, what part does wait? Can we even say that? Like, is Debbie in a nice? Or let's not go like locations, but is Debbie in like a rich part of
think
town?
she's in like no, she's not like my friend lives out like in that area where she lives. It's called Coquitlam or Pocoquitlam. I'm not sure. I think it's Coquitlam. So it's about maybe 30 minutes away from me to 45 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Like the way the city works is like we have the big city, which is like Vancouver, and then we have surrounding cities. So when you arrive in Vancouver, you arrive in Richmond, and then you can take the train or drive over the bridge. And that's another 10 minutes, and then you're in Vancouver, right? Depending on traffic. If you take the train, it's quicker than to get to downtown. And then there's like Burnaby, which is like 20 minutes, right? Or there's Surrey, which is like 45 minutes, right? To an hour, right? It just depends distance and traffic. That's all it depends on, right? So like
And
where I went and where she was, it's like kind of halfway in the middle between
okay.
my place, like my
Well,
like
that
where I live and where
explains.
she lives.
Well, that explains why you've never run into them before. Because I was always
Well,
wondering. I was like, you should run into them. Y'all live close by. You should be running into each other.
no, it's just like because like with these festivals that she posts or she goes to, like we can be there, but then we won't be there at the same time, and there's so many people, right? So we're not like walking into each other. Like could be there at the same time, but there's just so many people and it's crowded or whatnot. So that's when I mostly see her out and about in the city is when she's going to these street festivals, these outdoor festivals, family festivals or whatnot. That's when I mostly see her out and about, or if she's at a concert, right? Like you have a venue of like, I think the last concert she went with Tony was at the AC/DC concert. I didn't go to the AC/DC concert, but going to a concert and trying to find someone who maybe not be seated in your same section is going to be kind of hard.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So
True.
we're gonna be watching Happily Ever After, right? And the trailer, Shabooty, you posted the trailer, and I wanted to get everybody's reaction. Wait, did y'all didn't do this already, right? Because I forget I
No,
wasn't.
we are holding it for today.
Okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool. Because I wanted to talk about Happily Ever After, and I wanted to get like your thoughts on the Gino and Jasmine showing up on Happily Ever After, but dating different people. Because that's what's really interesting to me. Because I was like, I've never seen anything like this, where Jasmine is going to be filming with Matt, and Gino is going to be filming with, I think the girl's name is Natalie. Am I right? I think her name is Natalie.
According to Jasmine, yeah.
Yeah, according to Jasmine. This is a weird like turn of events, because Happily Ever After is usually the couple that started on 90 Day Fiancé and they're filming together, but they're actually filming them in two separate relationships, but they're still married. So I was like, do you think that, because remember, I kind of was talking about it in the past, how they've been really changing the rules of the shows. Like it used to be like if you were going to be on the other way, you had to be moving to another country. Now you only have to visit that country. You don't have to actually move. And now, like, are they changing the rules of Happily Ever After to the point where, you can not even be in a relationship with one and still film the season? Like, how do y'all feel about the change? Because I'm a little, I don't know, agitated, because I feel like we keep moving and reverting further and further from the original storylines of each of these different spinoffs.
Yeah, the goalposts consistently move
Yes, it's like, how are you ever going to make a goal if the goalpost is consistently in action? It's in motion. It's never staying in the same spot.
in order to accommodate Jasmine so they can get as much Jasmine as possible, I guess.
Well, yeah, I feel like that too. Like, Gina, do you feel like they are, no matter what was going on with Jasmine, they were going to figure out a way to get her on a new show? Like, I feel like that's,
even if they had to make one up, even if be like introducing a new freaking show with who's your baby daddy, but we know like, or who cheated, like it'd be Kalani and Jasmine, who had
But
one baby daddy.
well, and then Jasmine was saying the Natalie chick is just like there for the show or whatever. Like,
yeah, she's trying to say that she's a paid actor, which is completely alleged. We don't know if that's true or not. But a lot of people are saying that she looks a lot like Jasmine. So I wanted to ask you that. Like, do you think that Gino has a type, or do you think, okay, let's do the hypothetical where she's not a paid actor and she is a paid actor. So let's do both. Do you think that this is the type of girl that Gino would date?
Yes.
yeah, but like, let me answer a question with another question. Because again, this was filmed months ago, Happily Ever After. So
Yeah.
my question is, did you more recently see the video? Like, I know I posted it once, but like, let's say in like within the last 3 or 4 weeks, I posted a video. It was like Gino and well, there's multiple ones. It was all in Detroit though. One, they were in a restaurant in Detroit. Then they were like, one was there, other on a waterway, water.
Oh yeah. I remember all of those. Yeah.
But I'm just trying to think, is that the same girl now?
It looks like the same girl to me, because she definitely looks some sort of Hispanic.
Like a younger, hotter version of Jess.
Yes. It definitely looks like her, because I remember commenting on your post saying, how does he keep getting these hot Latinas? Because I was like, no offense, Gino, but Jesus Christ, these women are hot. So yeah, I think it's the same girl. I mean, I feel like Gino would go along with the storyline, because look how long he went along with this Jasmine stuff and they kept filming. Because The Last Resort, they were done. Okay, they were completely done, and then they still filmed that. So I feel like he's not above going along with it, and so, but I don't know how far he would take it. I feel like at this point he's probably irritated and done with them dragging his name through the mud, because that's kind of when he agreed to continue to do these shows, he's allowing them to drag his name through the mud. And I think at some point he's going to just be like, you know what? I'm done. No amount of money is worth people thinking that I'm letting this woman walk all over me. Because that he's not. That he's been done with her for years. Since 2020, oh my gosh, since what, 2023 in December? He's been done with this woman for a really long time. But him continually to go along with these shows is making it seem like he's putting up with this bullshit, and he's not.
Yeah, and it's annoying. all the Gino haters in the comments, like they say the same crappy like storyline lines all the times. You know, like, oh, he sent his nudes to Lindsay Ryder or whatever. It's like I hear
Oh
that like
yeah,
every
I've
day.
heard all of that, and I was like, okay, so he's been single, well, allegedly since he kicked her out, I think December of 2023. Okay, so if he was sending news to Lindsay Ryder, okay, and he was still married, but they were not physically living together. They were not together. Like, I don't want to hear any of that. If he was sending his nudes to her, Matt was banging Jasmine. Right,
Mm,
that's way worse. So it's like I'm so tired of these people who are like, "Oh, well, you don't see it from both sides." And I was like, "Well, I kind of do." I feel like Jasmine was banging this dude way before she told them. Like if Gino was just sending nudes to girls, I don't feel like that's as bad as physically banging people. Oh, and I want to comment on that post you put out also, where the person that went to the gym with Jasmine said that, oh my God, what month and year did he say he saw her? This was like in 2023.
this is like late 2023. Yeah.
Yeah, so before Gino kicked Jasmine out, right? Because we're gonna learn about the kicking her out around
Yeah.
Christmas
So
time.
that was like before they filmed the Happily Ever After
Yes.
house, before Last Resort.
Not only was she working out with Matt in the gym, she was openly making out with him in front of
Allegedly, yeah, making out.
allegedly, by the way, yeah. This was a Reddit post, and the person said that they were just openly, like, not, she wasn't hiding that she was married. She wasn't hiding anything. She was just openly living her life as a single woman while living in the same house as Gino. So I'm not even a little bit surprised that he kicked her out, right? Like, I'm not even a tiny bit surprised, and I don't know if he figured it out, if it was with Matt or what he figured out when he kicked her out, but I'm just glad he did.
Yeah, so go. I'm trying to think. Well, let me pull up my caption real quick. Um, let's see. Well, do you want me to read their caption or read my caption or
Oh
what?
yeah, you know what? We should first start off with what the Reddit poster put, so that'll make more sense. So this will be the context of what we're talking about. So this person was somebody that worked out in the same Planet Fitness as Jasmine in 2023, late 2023, when she was still living with Gino.
Yeah, so let's see. Oh, and give me one second. I guess Gina needs co-hosting abilities. Hold on.
Oh, Gina left. I didn't even notice. Gina, get back in here.
She's back. Okay, let me read this caption now. So this is the Redditor talking. It says, I've been a big fan of the show for a long time, and Jasmine used to go to the same gym as me in Michigan. At the end of 2023, I started seeing her there with another man I thought was her trainer, but considering they were always making out, I realized quickly that he was not her trainer. This guy turned out to be Matt, and I posted about it in this thread before. The last time I saw her was in June 2024, picture included with date. I just saw the preview for the new season of Happily Ever After, and from my personal experience, I fully believe that Jasmine was cheating on Gina with Matt well before the last resort thing. That was their caption. And then I said a couple things in my caption. I said, I was like, anyway, I said, of course, Jasmine was cheating on Gina before the last resort. Don't believe a word from her. And then I said, and then I was making fun of the photo that's in the Instagram post, but I was saying like, because in the photo, Jasmine is on the equipment, but she's like you on her iPhone the whole time. So I said, Jasmine can't even be at the gym without making out with. Well, I said Jasmine can't even use gym equipment without being on her phone 24/7. Social media addicted much. And then I said, Jasmine can't even be at the gym without making out with her new boyfriend while she's still married? Question mark. Um, so that was my little caption. Yeah, that's it pretty much.
None of this
My
surprised.
thought my thought when I saw her on the gym equipment, I'm like, is she making cameos? Is she making cameos from the gym?
Well, do
Because
you
that
guys
wouldn't surprise
remember?
me.
Do you remember like a year or two ago, every post was her in the gym or her on the treadmill or her working out, her sweating. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, this was probably the time when she was posting all of that workout content.
Mm.
As I remember that every post was like every day she was in the gym and she was posting in her gym outfit and she was working on the treadmill, whatever she was doing. And I was like, oh, do people really want to watch other people work out? Because I didn't realize that that was a thing.
Who knows? Jasmine could, she could have a if she didn't have like a daughter and she had a pet rock, she would dedicate her social media feed to her pet rock. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, yeah. Oh, so
And Cocco, her dog.
Mm-hmm.
So Tiger Lily and Adnan are back, and I wanted to gauge how you guys feel because y'all know how I feel about them. I couldn't be less enthused or entertained by them. So are you guys interested in seeing them come back, or do you feel like this is something that's being shoved down our throats, kind of like a Lauren and Alexi situation?
Yeah, they're shoving them down their throats, but I know like, well, I don't know. I just know like Adnan, I'm sure his ego is gonna go through the roof that he's back for another season, and I know Tiger Lily's probably her ego is gonna go through the roof for another season. So I feel like it's gonna make them even more insufferable.
I feel like Tiger Lily and Adnan are carbon copies of Sarper and Shekinah. They both have this massive ego and think that they're really interesting when they're bland and boring and basic. And I feel like Sarper and Shekinah and Tiger Lily and Adnan kind of both embody that. They think that they're Kardashians when they're Jenners, right? Like they couldn't be less interesting. They couldn't be less entertaining, but in their mind, they're carrying the franchise on their backs, and literally nobody believes that, right? Like nobody thinks that they do, but for some reason they're convinced that they're doing that.
Yeah, like well, at least with like Shekinah and Sarper, I guess Sarper has he kind of recovered as far as his fan reputation, and I feel like a lot of fans warmed up to Sarper. So, but I just couldn't see that happening with like Adnan and Tiger Lily.
I mean, yeah, ladies have when Sarper started being funny and
Hmm.
having a sense of humor, the ladies warmed up to him. I still can't stand him, but they did. They were like, "Oh, he's not so bad. He's not always calling her a bitch and pulling her hair out. He's funny too." So they were like, "Oh yeah, I can deal with that." But Adnan, I can only imagine the monstrosity of horrible things and inappropriate things he's gonna say to his wife, right? Because he comes from that culture where women are their property. So he's always going to tell her what she can and can't do. And we're going to go back into that Nicole and Mahmoud. We're going back into that space. We've always been in that space. Every season we get somebody. I think we did it with Brittany and Yazan. We did it with Nicole and Azan. We did it with Muhammad and Danielle. We always go back into
Every season,
every
there's
year.
either the same
And it's
couple or who are Muslim or and Caucasian or whatnot,
And
or like every season or repeat offenders.
like,
yeah.
and then as far as like Sarper's stand-up comedy, it seems like the producers are buying into it too, because apparently on the tell-all, Sarper ends the tell-all by doing stand-up comedy.
Oh my God. I saw your post about that and it reminds me. Do you remember? Oh my God, we're gonna go back in the day. Do you remember 90 Day Bears All? It was the
Yes.
Sean Robinson hosted show that started out on streaming, and it was basically a tell-all, but it didn't have a current season. And they would have the cast members come on. They would do random interviews, and they would let people perform. Like for instance, Darcy and Stacy got to perform on 90 Day Bears All. River Knight, remember Chantel's brother, River the rapper?
Yep.
He got to perform on 90 Day Bears All. So I was like, so yeah, that show is extinct, but Shabooty, they're bringing it back because they're basically now letting them showcase their talent on the
Mhm.
tell-all. How do we feel about that? Do we want that? Do we want the cast members to do like a talent show in the middle of the tell-all? Like, is that something that we were asking for?
No, but it's like it wouldn't surprise me if the next time there's like 90 Day Bad Boys, they'll bring them out on a tell-all to do a dance routine or some bullshit.
Oh, so do you think that the franchise is going to accept the 90 Day Bad Boys? Because you notice that
No,
they haven't really acknowledged it,
Hmm.
right? Like,
no, because
and
they actually, I didn't, Shabooty, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't they like one of your posts when you were dissing the 90 Day Bad Boys on one of your posts?
no, I think they retweeted it.
Yeah, they retweeted it, but
Yeah, exactly. So
I
they
forgot what my diss was, but yeah, they retweeted it.
Yeah, because I was wondering that. I was like, are they gonna? Because since it was started outside of the show, I was like, I wonder if they're ever gonna acknowledge it, like or put all three of the bad boys on a pillow talk together. Like, I was like, I wonder if they're gonna acknowledge this, or since it wasn't their idea, they're gonna pretend like it doesn't exist. I was wondering how that was gonna go because it kind of has taken on a life of its own. It would be beneficial for them to acknowledge it and maybe put the three of them on a pillow talk together. Like that might actually attract more viewers for Pillow Talk because people are kind of over Pillow Talk. So I was like, maybe put the three guys that some of the women love together and see what happens. I don't know how funny they are, because being funny isn't a part of the 90 Day Bad Boy. So I'm not a producer. I don't think it would be a funny pillow talk. But if people just wanted to look at people, that might work.
Yeah, if I saw them,
No.
I would be annoyed. But yeah.
Well, who knows? Maybe on the next tell-all, we will get one of the 90 Day Bad Boys or all three of the 90 Day Bad Boys doing a little dancing, because we are getting Sarper doing a stand-up at the tell-all, which I'm not even super disappointed, because I was a little upset that we didn't get to go to the show and they wouldn't let anyone bring their phones into the show, because I really wanted to hear his set. So kinda, I'm a little okay with it, because I wanted to see if he was actually funny. And granted, he's probably going to pay somebody to write some material, because this is going to be on TV, so it's probably not the same. But at least we get to see him in action and see if he's actually funny.
Yeah. So, oh wait, I guess we're kind of having a dual. We're having two topics at once, which is the tell-all and then the happily ever after thing. But let's finish up happily ever after and then talk more about the tell-all for season 11. But
Oh, well,
Lana, I hope you're okay.
so
what happened?
Lana has heard 10 gunshots right now.
Oh,
Oh my God.
we should talk to her.
And she's on the darn floor.
Oh wait, let's try
Okay.
to talk. Let's try to talk to her. Hold on. If she's willing to talk, we got to hear this.
That's weird. Maybe she shouldn't be talking right now. Maybe she should be quiet.
Radio gold. Hey, Lana.
Yeah, no.
Guys, hey guys. Man,
Hi.
that scared the holy shit out of me.
Are you
I am totally shaking right now.
What happened?
are you safe? Do you think everything's okay?
Yeah, I'm safe. It was so weird because I'm just sitting here listening to the podcast, and all of a sudden I hear bam, bam, bam. I thought at first maybe it was a firework, so I go to my window and all I see is the flash of the bang. And
Wait,
it's going, going, going. It scared the holy shit out of me.
like, how far away from you or something?
Okay, my bedroom where it sits, you can see my backyard. So I can see it over my next door neighbor's backyard. So that's how close it is.
So it's happening
Wow.
in your next door neighbor's house?
No, it's not the next door neighbors, because the way I could see that flash of it looked like gun, like a bang, like a flash of a gun.
Mhm.
And I could see it so perfectly clear. At first, when I heard like the first 3 or 4 shots, I just sat here like, wait. And then when it kept going, I jumped up to look. And that's when I seen those flashes like bangs. And that's when I was like, oh shit. And that's when I got down, because I was like, fuck, that's close, you know?
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's so crazy. And I'm sitting here just waiting to hear sirens, and I'm not hearing shit.
Well, he's like, get away from the window area, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was gonna say
I
that's
did. I moved. Now I'm in my second bedroom on the other side.
You might as well go sit in the bathtub or something.
Yeah, that was crazy. Oh my God. That was absolutely, I mean, my heart like right now is just like, because it was that close.
Mhm.
It was that close. That's nuts. That's why I had to put it on the podcast. I was like, let them know what's going on, because fuck, if something's happening over here, they know I pointed the time and place, you know?
Yeah. No, that because I usually don't read the chat like that diligently, the text chat, so I didn't know what was going on.
yeah, I didn't see it, and I was like, what? This is insane. Well, keep in a safe space, because that's scary. And I hope you hear some sirens soon, because the cops need to respond. I know in certain places they don't like to respond, but they gotta respond. It's crazy.
Like, I bet if I go to my Ring camera community thing right now, I bet you everybody's saying, did you guys hear that? Did you hear that? You know?
Oh my God, yeah.
Everybody knows, you know?
Yeah, the Next Door app is probably blowing up right now. It's probably blowing up.
It's blowing up. I guarantee it. If I go to it right now, I can read them to you guys. I know it's blowing up because it was that close. It was fucking scary.
Well, yeah, maybe before we end the show, we'll see if there's an update.
Yeah, we'll revisit and see if we figure out what was going on. But
yes, for sure. Let me continue to listen to you guys so I can get it off my mind.
Yeah.
And I'm making me a fucking drink now too.
yeah, I was gonna say a drink might help.
Yes. Okay, continue on. Thanks, guys.
All right, Lana.
We'll catch up with you.
So yeah, you were right, because you remember we were talking about why, because we knew that Stacy and Stacy and Florian were on The Last Resort, and we were like, why do you think Darcy is showing up? And you said, you were like, oh, Darcy's going to show up on another show. And you were right. She's showing up on Happily Ever After with Georgie, which her and Georgie got married off the show. Remember, after their show got canceled, they went and got married. It wasn't filmed. So they're acknowledging this marriage now, because usually you have to get married on the show for them to acknowledge it. Again, they're changing the rules because Georgie and Darcy got married, while they weren't filming or anything. But now they're putting them on Happily Ever After, which I think is ridiculous. And they're actually waiting a really long time. They've been married for like 4 years.
Let's be honest. Crazy. Did we really want to see that wedding? Did we really want to see that wedding?
Stacey's. No. You remember when we watched Stacey's and she had candles along the side of the aisle, and we thought her dress was gonna catch on fire? I do remember that. You remember? Yeah, she was walking down and she had this massive dress, and there's just random candles on the side of each aisle, and they came within inches of igniting. Because I was like, I don't know if she's gonna make it down the aisle. She might burn up.
Sure. Then what did you think of? I guess I have thoughts too, but like the Cara and Guillermo thing, like. Remember the intro? It's in the trailer, like the first scene of the trailer. It's like Guillermo is like the typical like husband that's not getting laid from his wife. So he's all like, I would love to eat her peach. And if it was up to me, we'd have sex every day. And then Cara has this look of like despair on her face where you could just tell she's not into him anymore.
Yeah, I saw it. And, I think it's funny that guys think putting a ring on a woman's finger and marrying her is going to get them more sex. It's like, I don't know who misinformed them, but women who are married, Captain will disagree with me if she was here, but I was like, women who are married, they're not trying to have sex 3 or 4 times a day. They get married so they can only have to do it a few times a week. Like
a few times a month.
Right. Like the whole purpose of getting married is to settle down so you don't have to go out every night and have sex every night and live that crazy life. The whole purpose of getting married is so you can have kids and dress normal, put on sweatpants and just be yourself. So it's his fault for thinking that marrying her and then knocking her up was going to make her hornier. That's the complete opposite of what's going to, like, especially for a woman. Women go through so much when it comes to pregnancy and taking care of kids. And Cara's mentioned a million times, when it comes to making money and taking care of that kid, she's the only one that does anything. So I don't know why he thinks that he's going to get rewarded with punani every night and he ain't doing nothing to help.
Yeah, I mean, I could picture him because he works at like a hotel, right?
He did.
Okay, well, but I could just picture.
Yeah.
Like,
past tense.
Is it like the hotel concierge or something?
Yes, the guy who like takes your luggage out of the car and brings it to your room. Yes.
Well,
I thought that was a bellhop.
He works the front desk, right? Like if you call down, he would answer.
Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, but I could just because obviously having that job, it comes with a lot of headaches, I assume, because basically everyone calls you with their problems. So if all day he's hearing other people's, all the people in the hotel's problems, he probably came home to Cara and unloaded all of his like work headaches onto her, and like that's the last thing she wants to hear. So like obviously she dried up, literally.
Well, right.
Literally, no pun intended.
Yeah, he's whining and complaining, and women, they have enough in their own lives that they don't need your whining and complaining. Like, so yeah, she probably rolled over immediately and was like, well, good night. Like, if that's what you want to do right now, I'm gonna take my ass to bed. And that's probably what happened. And I think it's interesting because I think Cara and Guillermo are very good looking people. And from the outside looking in, you're like, why would 2 good looking people not want to have sex? But we went through the same exact conversation with Gino and Jasmine, and we learned 2 good looking people does not equate wanting to have sex with each other. We learned that with Jasmine. Jasmine is very good looking. Not very many people want to have sex with her because of how she acts and the things that she says and the things that she does. So I was like, looking on the outside, you're like, who wouldn't want to have sex with Cara? Who wouldn't want to have sex with Guillermo? It's not just that. It's so many other factors that go into that.
But based on your equation,
don't couples ask each other when they come home, like, oh, how was your day from work? The normal thing to ask, and then you bitch and complain. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Like, isn't that the normal conversation people have as a married couple?
But just real quick, like George's equations. So then that means Gino is a good looking person too then?
Yeah.
Wait, y'all don't think Gino is a good looking person? I think Gino's a decent looking person.
I mean,
No.
he's the homie, so I'm not gonna shit on him.
I
I'm
mean, he
sorry.
doesn't. No, he doesn't look
Maybe
like.
back in the day. Maybe
He
back in the
doesn't.
day
No,
in his
guys,
prime.
no. He doesn't look like Big Ed. I think Gino is a very presentable looking guy. Like he is not a hot mess express. Gino is a decent looking guy. You dress him in some decent clothes and put a nice hat on his head. He's a good looking guy. Like I'm not gonna say that Gino's an ugly dude. I don't think he's ugly.
True.
I think it's more of like, yeah, if you dress him nice, like he presents himself very well, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
He don't look like Big Ed.
he can be
Big Ed is.
he can be presentable, and Big Ed looks like a toad.
Well, I was gonna say, what shape is Big Ed? I've learned my shapes in kindergarten, and there's no shape that equates to whatever Big Ed has going on with that body. I don't know what shape that is, but Gino looks. I'm sorry. He's a decent looking person. I'm not gonna say he's ugly, but I think that looks are so unnecessary when it comes to this because Gino and Jasmine were patient zero when we were trying to figure out why Gino didn't want to have sex with a really good looking woman, and we started to get to know her each season, and we were all repulsed by her, and we all understood it. Like, well, yeah, I don't want to have sex with somebody who talks to me that way, or who calls me names, or who throws drinks at me. Like,
I think it's more like it would be more of like he'd be more attractive if he was more secure with himself, not always wearing a hat and just calling it a day, right? Like I think
I
he
mean,
like
yeah, the confidence is something that really helps because I've seen people that have not a lot going on for them in the looks department or whatever in the weight, whatever it is their shortcoming is, but their confidence and their self-respect and self-worth is high and it makes up for it. You know, like because there are really good looking people that are not super skinny or what they don't fit the mold of traditional beauty or what a magazine would tell you is beautiful, but they are super, super hot because it's all in the mindset. It's all in your confidence.
Well, like let's think of someone like who's a 90 Day Fiance cast member who's not traditionally like attractive, but then they're confident, so they have a lot of swagger.
Oh
what's
shit!
her face for Hunt for Love?
Who?
Jesus, the one who got with Rob the Knob. What's her name again?
Oh, Elise. Oh, wait.
No,
Are you
not
thinking
that.
of Jennifer?
But Jennifer,
Jennifer.
no,
Yeah,
but Jennifer's
you guys said
no,
it.
but no, that's not Jennifer's like beautiful. So that's not what I'm asking.
She is, but the
No, but
confidence
I'm saying
shows her
someone that
more.
isn't like traditionally beautiful. Jennifer's traditionally beautiful. I want
Mm.
somebody that's not traditionally beautiful, but then they have like is confident, and then they kind of come across hot because of their confidence, but they're not traditionally beautiful.
Oh,
That's
like
a
a
hard
cast
one.
member. Let me think. I'm going through cast members in my head now.
Me too.
I mean, I always thought Tiffany was beautiful, but I think
Well,
that
we
Tiffany was beautiful, big and small. Like when she was first on the show and she was heavier, I still thought she was really, really beautiful. I liked her personality. I liked the way she carried herself. And now that she went and had her surgery done and she's come into her own, she's even more beautiful. But I didn't. Some people would say she wasn't traditionally beautiful, but I still found her beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm probably gonna say, and you're gonna love me for this, probably Shabooty. I'm gonna have to say Liz because she probably, when she was with Ed, I was like such a sweetheart, and but she gained her confidence, and you can see it. Like once she got kicked into the curb, she had more confidence when she went on that tell-all with Jay. She had more confidence within herself.
I don't know, but I think Liz is like she's a really pretty face. Is like I consider her like I don't think that falls under the thing I'm going for because I think she's like pretty naturally. You know what I mean?
Oh, this is really hard.
Maybe it
Yeah,
applies
Really
more to
hard.
I think maybe it applies more to a man like
but you know
who's
why
ugly
though?
but swagger.
It's because beauty is relative. Like when you know how you go to the art gallery and you look at something and everybody sees something different. I think that's kind of how beauty
Like
lands.
what I'm looking for is like who's like the 90 Day Fiance, like the Jay-Z of 90 Day Fiance. Like Jay-Z's not like a handsome guy, but he has like swag.
Oh shit, that's easy. Michael from Michael and Angela. He's not the most attractive, gorgeous man in the world, but everybody loves that guy. Like
No,
everybody loves that guy.
well, but do chicks want to fuck Michael?
I kind of feel like he's probably got a lot of chicks in his DMs.
Mm-hmm.
because they feel bad for him and they want him to be treated better. Like there's different reasons why women want to sleep with men. It's not just because they find them attractive. Because when Michael came out with what was going on between him and Angelo, there were women who wanted to pity fuck him just because they felt bad for what he went through.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't because they thought he was hot or sexy or whatever. They just were like, oh, that's horrible. You should have never been treated that way. I'll give you some punani. Right? Like, I feel like because there's different reasons why women are attracted to men. It's not just if he has a nice car, he has a lot of money, he's good looking. There's different reasons. And a lot of times if the guy got cheated on or hurt or lied to or manipulated, that opens up like that pity area where women are like, well, I would treat him better than that. I would be a better person for him. And they'll sleep with him. And it doesn't matter what he looks like or if
Like
he has.
Pineapple Girl says, what about Sinjin?
Oh, I like Sinjin. So wait, do y'all think Sinjin is rough on the eyes?
Gina, what do you think?
Not my type. I'm like looking through it, but 90 Day Fiance cast to Google. I'm like, this is really hard.
I mean,
I'm
I
gonna
know
say like
Sinjin.
Zaid, maybe.
Oh, I can see why you're saying that. I can see that.
Well, who's Gina? Who's hotter, Zaid or Sinjin?
Zaid. He's more
What?
he's more my type. I don't know. He's
Oh,
more my type.
I think. Oh, okay. I
We
mean,
could ask people that are listening live, like type in the chat, who's hotter, like Zaid or like Sinjin?
oh well. Sherry says she thinks Sinjin is cute and she likes Zied. Lana thinks Zied is the hotter one.
There you go.
Okay, Laurie thinks
Queen
Sinjin.
Lana has spoken.
So Zied 2, Sinjin 1.
I don't know. Zied has like a rough face for me. Like I don't know. Like it's
Doesn't
a
Zied
little
have like nice eyes or something?
Zied. I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel
doesn't he have
like
like light eyes or something?
maybe I can't get past his face.
I
You
think
know how
so.
some people have like a rough facial features? Like I feel like his facial features are just really rough. Like when God was making him, there was a lot of turbulence in the airplane and there was a lot of shaking going on. Like his face is like really rough. I don't know, but Rebecca will argue with me day and night. Remember when Rebecca first got him over here and everywhere they went? I think she went to the GameStop to buy him a game system. And
Yeah.
she was like, oh, this is my hot 20-something-year-old husband. And she had to tell everybody how hot he was. So I was like, I think that it depends. Like I said, it depends on who's looking, and that determines how hot the person is. Because for instance, there's a lot of people that I look at relationships. Oh my God, I was just talking about this on the other pack last week. Greg and Joan. I can't for the life of me figure out why Joan thinks Greg is hot. I can never understand it. It'll never make sense to me. He's just not. And she's gorgeous. She's beautiful. She's beautiful. Everything about her body, face, hair, everything about her is just amazing. And then she chose Greg. And I think she really loves him. Like, honestly, I don't think she's using him. I really feel like she loves him. And I'll never for the life of me understand it.
Maybe in her culture, like being a fat guy is like a sign of wealth or something.
Wait, I learned something about that in school because when we were taking history, the world history class, they taught us that being big or overweight or really tall was a sign of wealth in the earlier years.
In some cultures,
Yeah, like
Yeah.
because it meant you could afford food, and it meant
Yeah.
like so the bigger a guy was, that was more wealthy. He was more desirable because the people who were struggling, they barely had any meat on their bones. They couldn't afford food. So like maybe in there, because they're like light years behind everybody else. They're still selling or they still have bride prices. So they're like light years behind other cultures. So maybe she looks at it as, oh, the bigger he is, the taller he is, the more wealthy and sought after he might be. Because, in the US, the smaller the waist, the more people want you over here. There's guys in America that got smaller waists than women now. Like that's like the coveted thing. You got to have a tiny little waist.
Hmm. Yeah, and there's some meme I saw with some dude in like skinny jeans, and then somebody was like, if he farts, he's gonna break his ankle.
See, this is the thing, right? Because guys used to want to be big. I remember like you wanted to be built, you wanted to have like bigger legs. Remember there was the meme or the joke where if your thighs were tiny, they called you chicken legs or or whatever. Like
Mm-hmm.
now men are kind of in competition with women of who could be the more petite. And I don't really know why this is happening. Like, when did men want to be just as tiny and just as small as women? Like, a typical guy today can wear the same size that his girlfriend wears. That never used to happen. You know, the back in the day when a girl slept over the guy's house and she was wearing his t-shirt, it looked like she was wearing a nightgown because that's how big his shirt was in comparison to her. Now they can literally shop at the same freaking section. That's how tiny men have gotten.
Yeah, it's the metrosexualification of men, I guess.
But it's getting out of hand. It's really getting out of hand. Like, I remember when women wanted a big, strong guy who could save her, right? Like, if she was drowning, he could jump in the water and save her. If she was getting robbed, he could beat up the guy. Like, now, if y'all both weigh 95 pounds, who's gonna save who? Right? Like, who's gonna save who? What can he do that you can't? You know, like, who's gonna save you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so Jovi and Yara, Libby and Andre, Lauren and Alexi. Um, oh, Brandon and Julia. It just gets worse, guys.
Well, like somebody pointed out, like Brandon and Julia weren't shown on the trailer, which is interesting.
Yeah, I noticed that too. They weren't on the trailer. And I also heard, you remember back in the day, like last season, a Happily Ever After, maybe the season before, they showed who was gonna be on the show, and then they showed Bilal and Shida, and then they never showed up.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, I wonder
Mm-hmm.
if Brandon and Julia filmed, but they're not gonna use the footage because that's what happened with Bilal and Shida. So I was
Mhm.
like, we're gonna have to keep an eye on that because it's weird that they would focus on all of the couples
Mhm.
minus that one. It's really weird.
Like
But wait,
my
was
only,
Tiger, Lily, and Adnan in the trailer?
yeah, I think so.
Oh, they were. Yeah. So it's weird. I don't know what that means, and I wouldn't be upset if they left Brandon and Julie off. We literally just watched them on The Last Resort, and nothing happened. They were seat fillers through the whole season. Nothing took place. There was no reason for them to be there. So I wouldn't be mad if they took them out. And also, somebody was telling me that they think that another couple is going to be announced later, but
Mhm.
they didn't tell me who
Mm-hmm.
it was. So do y'all
So,
have any
like
idea of if
my,
that's true or not?
like so that my theory is that Brandon and Julia, they're gonna be like one of the couples that's inserted in the middle of the season just as like filler.
Oh, so maybe that is the
Yeah,
announcement.
because since
Yeah.
Gino and Jasmine, like that's probably going to be like what 2, 3 episodes max, and
Well,
then
unless
you
they
need a
follow them
filler.
separately. Because I was like, maybe they'll follow them
Oh, that's
separately,
true.
where they'll just focus on Jasmine and Matt, and then they'll focus on Gino and Natalie, I think her name was. So like it could work, but 8 couples does seem like overkill because that is a lot of couples for one season to follow along with each one. 8 is a high number for me.
But then in the trailer they had like Andre hanging out with like Lauren and Alexi, whatever. Just
Yeah, and then they were kind of
it's
fighting.
almost like a combination situation.
Yeah, that was really interesting too. But like I said, it seems like the rules and the stipulations to be on these shows have just been X'd. Like it's whatever they want to put in the season now, they're gonna put it in the season. There's no real rules because they never filmed any of the couples on the shows intertwined before. Like they keep changing everything. Like we've never watched a 90 Day Fiance season where two separate couples intertwined in any way. Like it's never been a thing. And now that they're doing it on here, it's like, are they running out of ideas? Like, do you think the ratings are dropping and they really want to try to turn things around? Because I was like, why do they keep changing things? And instead of consulting with the audience, the people who've been here for 11 plus years, they just do random shit without saying anything to anyone. And nobody wants it. It's all in the wrong direction.
Yeah. Should we talk about the season 11 tell all again now?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, we can talk about
Sure.
the tell all, which is, oh my gosh, not tomorrow or not Sunday, but the next Sunday, right?
Hmm.
The
Yeah.
29th? Well, the 29th and the 22nd,
Hmm.
because
Yeah,
it's two
we
parts.
talk about this a little bit on the Thursday night podcast special bonus podcast. But so in the tell all, they're gonna have Big Ed because he lives with his mom, and then they're gonna have because Greg lived with his mom, and then they're gonna have Veronica because her boyfriend is Persian like Mahdi, and then they're gonna have Danielle just solely because she had some bullshit like internet beef with Shekinah, which shouldn't really be a reason for her to be there because she has internet beefs with everyone.
Oh well, yeah, I was gonna say she beefs on the internet with literally everyone in the world. But I don't think that Ed lived with his mom since like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I'm trying to think who was he dating? Maybe it was Liz.
No, yeah, he was with, well,
Yeah, it was with Liz, right? I'm pretty sure it was with Liz when he was
but
living.
then I heard, I don't know if this was featured on the show or not, but he like he like basically kicked his mom out and then like packed up all of his mom's shit and like had Liz like move it to like a storage unit. I don't know if that's Shabooty or not.
No, that's true. That's accurate. Yeah, that's 100% accurate. Yeah, because if you remember in San Diego, his house was really small.
Mhm.
And when Liz was to move in, his mom had to go because there wasn't any room. No, that's 100% accurate. He did kick his mom out, but I think that he didn't kick her out to where she was homeless. He had somewhere lined up for her to go,
Mhm.
but it was still pretty brutal.
Didn't he go live at his sister's house or something?
I don't remember specifically. It's been a hot minute, but I do remember that storyline because I remember Liz felt weird because it was like awkward because the mom kind of blamed Liz because everything was fine until Liz was moving in. And then when Liz was moving in, he was like, you gotta get the hell out. So
Mhm.
it was very awkward for her because she didn't want to be the reason why anybody had to go anywhere. So yeah, I do remember that storyline.
True. So, and then yeah, there's going to be a lot of fighting on the tell-all. I think like Aman is going to be fighting with Shekinah, and then I think Marty and Stevie are going to be fighting with Danielle, and then Danielle's going to be fighting with, I guess, Shekinah. It's hard to keep track.
Well, yeah, there was
Everybody's
one.
just fighting with everybody.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the what tell all did we just see where there was fighting? Oh, the last resort tell all. There was a lot of fighting. There was shoe throwing, and I think that we've entered the era of the ghetto tell all. I think that they're encouraging fighting, encouraging yelling and cussing because they used to try to keep it pretty classy, right? When things got out
Yeah.
of hand, they would cut to commercial. They would remove someone from the stage so things didn't get out of hand. I think at this point they're encouraging people to fight. Like bringing Danielle to the tell all, knowing that her and Shekinah are at odds with each other. Like they're being messy now. Like they're almost in what do you call it?
Instigate.
Um Instigating. Yeah, they're like instigating violence. They're like, oh look, that person online who said these horrible things about you, they're right there. Should you hit them? Like I feel like they're instigating it now.
Yeah,
It's a tamer version of Jerry Springer.
yeah, like I was talking to one cast member, let's just say, and they said like after the tell-all filmed, they basically were so, even though they're in New York, you would think they would want to maybe go to like Times Square and experience it. They said like after they filmed the tell-all, they just all they did was like went back to the hotel and went to sleep, and they didn't want to deal with any people for the rest of their trip.
See, that's how you know that things are getting tense because, when all of the cast would go to New York to film, there would always be Instagram stories of them having drinks or going out or eating together or any type of intermingling. And this is how you know
But
that the
who
cast,
would want to hang out with these people anyways?
well, it used to just kind of, do you remember when Statler's tell all came out and she wasn't allowed to go? She still
Yes.
went to New York just so she could hang out with her cast.
Yeah.
They used to all want to be friends. And I think that's kind of showing how the dynamic of the show and franchise is changing to where they don't even want to communicate with each other. They don't want to be around each other because it used to be no matter what, at the end of the day, those were your friends because y'all were on the show together. You did a season together. But like now, I feel like the way that they're putting each other, they're pitting each other against each other. And I think
Mm,
that
that's a good what you just said is a good like observation. Yeah.
yeah, it's
Hmm.
like they're making the tension and the fights too real to the point where it's not just for the camera. These people really want to hit each other.
Yeah, because with Statler season, all the cast members, whether they like had met, most of them probably hadn't met each other in person like prior to the tell-all. So, but they were all friends through social media for being on the same season. So they're all buddy buddy, and then yeah, they all met up together in New York City, and they like went to Times Square and did like some TikTok dances and shit like that, and etc. And then, but yeah, I think like and I think that's, but I feel like Sharp or whatever probably doesn't like that kind of camaraderie between cast members because then the cast members have like it's like a brotherhood versus production. They're
Yep.
numbers. So Sharp doesn't like that. So now what they're doing, like we just said, George, is it's like how if you're Sharp, you're like how can we put the fly in the ointment? So in the tell-all, let's just bring like if Shekinah hates so and so, like for example, not Shekinah, like so like this is just like a random example of a stupid social media thing, but like remember like Statler had she was offended by like S. Scott. So like I'm just like doing a hypothetical. I'm not saying this would happen, but so production would be like, oh, Statler hates S. Scott, so let's on the tell-all have like S. Scott come in on the tell-all with Statler and have like them two fight each other on the tell-all because they hate each other on social media. So like they're
Yeah.
probably doing that to start drama. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely see it. And it's like you said, that camaraderie, brotherhood, sisterhood, it makes it harder for production to get a good fight out of people. Because
Mhm.
at the end of the day, if two people really don't hate each other, they're only gonna fake a fight to the extent that production wants. They're not gonna actually be upset. So I think now they're like, well, if we're bringing in people that really don't like each other, we're gonna get much more of a rise out of them. When you see somebody who's been talking shit about you for months online sitting across from you, it is not going to be a pretty sight, right? You're like, oh, now
Yeah.
you're right here. I am finally going to deal with that. So yeah, I think that's what they're like. Oh well, instead of letting them, hang out and film special pillow talk, like no, let's pin them against each other, start these feuds, and then the first time they see each other in person, put a camera in their face. So when they go at each other, we're gonna get better content. More people are gonna want to watch the tell all because once they let Jasmine hit Rob with a shoe, it's all downhill from there, right? Like they lowered the bar. The bar has never been raised again. They're like, well, now that we've let violence happen and we didn't stop it, now we can just keep going. We can drop the ball and run with it.
Yeah, I bet like well, I know Gabby at Sharp Entertainment, she's the one that like pays attention to everyone's social media. I'm wondering now if like now if she notices like a social media beef, she like she writes down a note and say, "Hey, so and so is beefing with so and so." Normally they would probably frown upon that, but now I think yeah, they're turning that like they're like the Eye of Sauron or whatever in like Lord of the Rings or whatever it is. They like that kind of evilness. So now they're like, "Oh, so and so's fighting with so and so. That's a good thing. 'Cause we're gonna bring their arch rival to the tell-all, even if they're not on that season."
Yeah, they've definitely changed because they used to not even acknowledge social media.
Mhm.
Like at a tell all, they would never bring up
Yeah.
anything that was on social media. And now that they've
Like the fact that like Rob's butt plugs was like a huge topic and shit.
right. And nothing from Reddit, nothing from Twitter, nothing from Instagram that was just, mess had never made it onto production. That's why I was like, oh, they even acknowledge that. But like now that they've started to acknowledge that aspect of it, they've kind of lowered the bar a little bit.
Mhm.
But you have to acknowledge that like 50 to 75% of the fandom of 90 Day Fiance is through online, like Reddit, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Like most of the camaraderie lives on social media. So the idea that you waited so long to acknowledge that's where all of the support is coming from is crazy.
Yeah, so at least I mean I like the messiness. I think they fucked up with the last resort tell all where the first episode was like so insanely good and then it just went totally to smithereens and downhill from there. But I think they're learning and now they realize with the season 11 tell all they if they try to do 4 episodes of it, it would be fucking garbage. So that's why they're doing 2 episodes. So it'll be hopefully more action packed.
Yeah, I'm hoping that too. 2 episodes is good. Get all the action, all the messy fighting in there. And this will be a way to save and salvage because I feel like we've been wasting our time. We've been watching, I think, 17 episodes, and I don't think anything happened. In all 17 episodes, it's been boring, it's been ridiculous. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the fighting and the screaming and the yelling and the craziness that we deserve. Right?
Mm.
I feel like we deserve it. I feel like oh, and I actually heard that the Hunt for Love Tell All is going to be really good, which I'm excited for that because,
Mm.
we watch the seasons, we dedicate all this time, and then we some of these spinoffs they didn't even give us a tell all. Like, pretty sure the Last Resort season 1 didn't have a tell all.
Yeah, you're correct.
Yeah, season 2 finally did. So I'm glad that they're giving the shows a tell all at the end, so we can at least get closure on it and see these people actually have real opinions. Because at the end of the day, I feel like watching a whole season and then nothing happens at the end. I wasted my time. So at least we're getting something at the end.
Yeah. Um, True. All right, let's go through our topics. Let's see what we haven't talked about. We were talking about that. Oh yeah. I mean, we don't have to spend a lot of time on these topics, but there was speaking of Jasmine, I guess there was that old ass photo, throwback photo of her that didn't even look like her with her, like, I guess, first husband allegedly. But then the one photo of her on the right side, at least on my version on my Instagram, she had like an evil look on her face. I was like, oh, that's the real Jasmine. You know what
Oh,
I'm talking about?
I saw it. She had braces.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I saw it, and she looked so different for me. Like she had like a different complexion. She looked so different. So I was really surprised. But at the end of the day, if you squinted and you looked hard enough, you could still see her in there. Like
Mm,
it wasn't like a Darcy and Stacey
You can see
situation.
evil in the
yeah.
Yeah, you
eyes.
could still see that angry, mean, telling Gino that his dick is small. You could see it in there. You could still see that evil lady in there. So
Mm,
she's had a lot of work done, but not to the point where she looks like a completely different person because I could still see her.
yeah. And then some people on Twitter were like, it doesn't look like her, but if you're saying it's Shabooty, I believe you. And I was like, yeah, you better believe me.
No, it looked like her.
Yeah,
I could see it. You had to squint a little bit and look at it. You know how there's pictures where if you look at it long enough, you see something different?
like a 3D magic eye.
Yes, I kind of felt like it was that. Like at first glance, I was like, that isn't Jasmine, but you had to keep looking.
If you look hard enough, the crazy will pop out at you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I did. I was like, let me squint my left eye a little bit. I was like, no, I can see it. I definitely see that lady in there. I can see it. But
Mm,
yeah, it's very interesting to see how she started out. She wasn't ugly though, guys. Like Jasmine was still pretty even before all the surgeries and stuff. But it was just interesting to see, the beginning, the before and after, the beginning and then the after photo because
mm.
she's definitely changed everything about her entire body. She's changed everything.
True. And then speaking of throwback photos, did you see the Tiffany emo throwback photo?
Hmm. I've seen that around before.
Yeah. Did you?
It's weird because I didn't see Tiffany as like a gothy emo girl.
Mm,
So when I saw it, it was a little shocking for me. Like she reminded me of a girl that would have went to an Avril Lavigne concert.
mm,
But I was just like, I just didn't see that. So it was really interesting. So seeing that, I was like, huh, she definitely grew into her looks. Right?
mm,
Like she looked fine, but like the Tiffany we got now is the Tiffany that we prefer, right?
mm. Yeah. I don't know. Random question though. Has Tiffany ever like has she ever I mean, you're definitely more of a Tiffany expert than I am, but has she ever like said she's ever like been into women at all or
Not that I can recall.
because
Not on the show like openly. I don't think she's ever said that.
the only reason I'm randomly saying that is like anytime I see somebody who's like an emo chick, I'm like, oh, she probably like grows up being bi or something.
Wait, do you think that all emo girls are bi?
No, but I feel like they're more bi than non-emo chicks.
I mean, nah, I don't know.
I think it's just a phase, right?
Yeah,
Like being
Rebellion,
bi is a
black
phase.
eyeliner.
No, but I'm saying the same way being bi could be a phase.
yeah, I know a lot of girls that grew up
True.
and had a bi phase, but I also had a lot of emo friends growing up, and I don't remember a lot of them being bi.
True. Maybe I'm just like conflating emo with like, the tip that kind of chick that likes whatever. I'm having trouble like
See, for me, the emo girls were usually into guys that wore black and were in a band.
yeah, I'm not really thinking of it as like emo, but like the type that's into like skater dudes and shit.
Yeah, like the Avril Lavigne chicks, like
Yeah.
Avril Lavigne. Yeah, like when I was growing up, there was a lot of Avril Lavigne girls. They wore like baggy jeans. They had like black hair. They would wear black band shirts or black shirts with dead
For
people
a
on
hot
them.
topic.
Yeah, like they usually were just into other gothy guys that
Yeah,
also.
they're just basically like their crushes are always like like a lead singer of a band. Like
Yes. Yeah, like a dude who wears all black with Jinko jeans, and he's in a band and he plays bass. That's usually what they were into.
yeah, well, yeah, but no, yeah, exactly. But I feel like those chicks, the band groupie chicks, they're the ones that I feel like are more bi than non-band groupie chicks. What do you
I
think about
don't
that
know.
stereotype?
I don't know. I don't see that. I think I could be wrong though. Maybe I just grew up around the wrong emo chicks.
Maybe you're the square one in this
Well,
podcast.
yeah, I was gonna say maybe the emo chicks I was around just weren't cool. Like I don't know. That's not what I got from it, but it could possibly be. It could.
True. All right. Well, though, yeah, go check out those throwback photos on my Instagram. Let me go back to my topics list. So yeah, so Karine, I guess, had her baby.
Oh yeah, we had just found out she was pregnant not that long ago. Like, you know how some people are pregnant and it seems they've been pregnant for like 10 years? Seemed like she was pregnant for like 15 minutes. Like we had just found out recently she was pregnant, like within the last month, right?
I don't know. I feel like a while ago, longer than a month, I had posted because it was kind of tea in the sense of Paul had posted it, but he posted the update on his OnlyFans, and then I reposted it, and it was a while ago, like months ago.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm looking at it. He said I reported this months ago. Karine, you were pregnant. Yeah, you're right. And you posted that on June 4th. So you're right. It was more than, yeah, it was months ago. Okay. But how do we feel about her having another baby? Because we know that her other two children, they took away. And I know that
Oh.
this is like a sensitive subject, but how do we feel about that? Because when you have two kids and they're removed and you have another kid, because a lot of people are arguing, oh no, you shouldn't have another one. You should work on getting your other ones back. So like, how do we feel?
She can't even take care of herself.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what's interesting is if you go to her Instagram profile and read her bio, it says this is her whole bio, but like related to her children. It says proud mother of one baby girl, and then it says I love you, my princess. You are the only thing that matters, and no one else. So she doesn't even mention that she's had other kids.
Whoa, I'm looking at it right now. You are 100% right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
That's
saw that.
wild. That's wild because
Well, she had to sign her parental rights away.
that doesn't mean that they're not your kids though.
Of course, no, I understand that, right? I completely understand that.
I feel like
Your kids will always be your kids.
that's a very insulting bio to her
But
other children.
did you see that her number one pin post is a GoFundMe that says help reunite a loving parent with her children? Like that was posted on March 16th. So she was raising money to reunite with them, but then doesn't even acknowledge them in the bio, which I think is that bothers me because no matter what, because you remember Caitlyn and Tyler, they were on Teen Mom and they signed away their parental rights. They gave up their daughter Carly for adoption, but they have never ever not acknowledged that that was their daughter. Whether they
never
had
denied their children.
even if they like without any parental rights, without any rights to even see that child, Carly is still they still refer to her as their daughter, even though that they have no legal stance to do that. So it's weird to me that they got taken away and then she was just like, well, I got one child. No, you got
the day that like she
Let me see the comments.
photo that like the baby the pregnancy the birth photo was posted on social media. She posted on her story like a link to her PayPal and said help me pay to fight CPS or something.
Yeah, I saw that too.
But see, what makes me wonder is she using the other two kids and that saying like help me get them back as like just a way to siphon money out of people, because the parental rights thing is permanent. When they take away your parental rights, that's permanent. I'm pretty sure you can't go to court and reverse that. Am I right, Gina, or am I wrong?
No, I think you're right because once they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah, no,
There's like your parental rights, not the kids.
Allegedly, I think she's using that as a way to raise money. Yeah,
I think so too. I really do, and that's even worse. Like that makes it 100 times worse. Like first of all, not acknowledging that those babies came out of you and they're yours no matter what. Because at the end of the day, even if you had a child and you gave it up for adoption, that's still your child. If they run a DNA test, if they do like a 23andMe, that is your freaking kid. Period. Whether you got documentation to back it up or not. So I don't like the idea that she is saying, "Oh, help me raise money to be reunited," when legally you can't be reunited. When your rights are terminated by a family court judge, they don't revisit the case and try to determine if you can have that child back. That's not how it works. So I don't like the idea that maybe she's using those innocent kids as a way for people to just donate money. Like, and I feel like, you know who else would do that? Brandon and Mary would do the same thing, right? I feel like they would
Oh
totally.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Oh, and then what's the deal with Brandon and Mary hanging out with Rose?
I know. I saw that. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't dislike Rose. Like I always liked Rose. I thought that she was a very positive person for someone who had to deal with Big Ed. I think she's a positive person. She came out on top, but I don't like her hanging around them because I don't want people to get the wrong idea about her. Because Rose is a business owner. She's an entrepreneur. She's very smart. She's very beautiful. A lot of people underestimated her, but I feel like her hanging around Brandon and Mary might give people the wrong idea, and I don't like that for her business.
Yeah, I think it's just a typical like clout kind of trying to exemplify or like double up your clout by meeting a 90-day person in your country.
Well, yeah, we saw that with hold on, who did we just recently see together? Not recently, but it was Sarper and Shekinah, and I think Lauren, was it Lauren and Alexi?
No, it was Burger King guy
Yeah,
and
that's right. Yeah.
Harbor.
Yeah. It's like, and Matt and Amani, they keep hooking up with different 90-day fiance cast. Wait, I have to ask y'all a question. Did y'all see the video that Matt and Amani and Jamal, they were in a club and Amani was twerking on Matt and she was wearing a dress with no underwear? Did y'all see the video?
I saw
no.
the video, but I didn't pay that close attention to it.
Okay, so a lot of people, they were getting a lot of flack for it. I mean, I do know why, but I don't agree with why people are saying, because they're like, oh, you're a mom, you shouldn't do that. No, I don't like when people tell women that they can only be a mom. Like I disagree with that, because women can be multifaceted. They can wear different hats. They can do different things. But she was in a club with Matt, her husband, and Jamal of the 90-Day Bad Boys, and she was twerking. Her husband was laying on a table, and she was twerking on her husband's face, no underwear on, with a completely see-through dress on. And they posted this video to the story, and then everyone was just like annihilating her, like, oh, you shouldn't be acting this way, you should be a better mom. And I was like, what does her going out on a Saturday night really have to do with her being a good mom? Because
well, the people that are commenting that are probably like 56-year-old housefraus, that don't have a good body. So
well, yeah, because at the same time, she looked pretty hot in this video, guys. Like, I'm just gonna be real with you. Amani definitely has a nice body and nice ass. She looked great. So I don't agree with why people are attacking her, because I think that you can be a mom, you can be a business owner, you can twerk on your husband. Like, you can do all of those things, and none of them make you a bad mom, right? Like, I feel like if you're not,
no, I agree, but there's a certain way to also, when you get a certain age, to present yourself without having your punani out at the club, because no one wants to see that.
the most offensive part of that story is they're hanging out with Jamal.
So yeah, that was what was weird to me, Shabooty, because remember back a week or two ago, Matt and Amani were live, and somebody said in the comments, they were like, hey, Matt, are you ever going to join the 90 Day Bad Boys? And he said, no, they're not interested in me. And Amani was like, yeah, they're clout chasers.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, so that was offensive. And now they're hanging out like nothing ever happened. So do you think some of this stuff that people are doing, like they're purposely attacking each other and they're not actually fighting? Do you think that this is like them creating fake drama?
Mm-hmm.
So, because
them creating fake drama.
Yeah, because
it's whatever can get the.
It got reposted a million times, like all the different bloggers, everyone kept reposting that live. Then come to find out, they're at the club together, drinking together, having fun together. So it's like, I wonder if when people are actually feuding online, if they're actually fine with each other and they're just trying to get, they want their name or their story to be the biggest story of that week. So they purposely.
What post gave me that fake drama energy was, and I'm not saying it wasn't like a juicy post in the sense of like whatever, but when Jasmine made that post like talking shit about like Patricia and stuff, like to me though, I took that, she's like, I don't give a fuck, she's like, I don't give a shit anymore, I'm gonna say what I want to say. And it's like she's using like the poop emoji instead of saying shit, and it's like, really? And then I asked someone, I was like, check back in like 10 or 12 hours, like tell me if that story is still up on her page or not. And it was like still up. And I was like, how hot how crazy is what you said if it's still up like 12 hours later? If it was
Well,
really crazy,
yeah, if Gabby didn't call you to take it down, then it wasn't hot.
yes, but it was like definitely to get a lot of attention for the new happily ever after.
Well, yeah, that's what they're doing. Because actually, Lauren also did that. Lauren from Lauren and Alexi posted a story. She's like, "Oh, we're gonna be on the new season Happily Ever After," and she's like, "I'm not even lying to you. You're gonna have to watch this. You do not want to miss this." And I was like, "Lauren, you've never done anything that I wanted to see. So now I feel like you're just lying." And I feel like that's what Jasmine did. I think that was an approved post by the network to spark interest, to get people interested in the new season. And I think that they're using social media to their advantage. I think the network, it took them long enough to figure it out, but I think that they're posting or telling the cast members what to post and giving them enough tea to say things, but not say enough to where you need to watch the season. I think that's kind of where we're at now.
Yeah, and of course it got reposted
Mhm.
everywhere, so obviously it was a win. Um,
Well, yeah, all the people who got the TLC cakes, all the little puppets, they're going to be reposting it because that's their job. Their job is to generate false narratives and generate false BS and be a little Kermit the Frog puppet for the network and only talk about the things the network wants you to talk about. I took offense to the cake thing. I don't know why, but I was just like, y'all think that the people who you gave those cakes to are the real TLC partners? Is that what y'all really think? Because those people haven't reported anything worth reporting in so long, but it's because they only report what the network gives them permission to do. So I don't know. I was a little irritated because I was like, y'all are going to continue to act like Shabooty is not the real source of TLC tea. And it's like, how long are you going to live in denial? Right? Like, how long are you going to be sailing down this denial river?
yeah, and like, come on now, and it's like, and you can't say we don't have a podcast and stuff. Like we're multifaceted, so it,
Well, I'm going to say something I probably shouldn't. I'm going to get in big trouble. But someone from the network, their name starts with a G, mentioned that they listened to the 90 Day Fiance Fridays podcast because they want to know what information is being leaked or not.
mhm.
So
I
they
believe it.
listen to the show, and because they want to know what is going to get out and what has been getting out or what's on the verge of getting out, and they acknowledged that they listened to this particular podcast when they're looking for leaks and things that they didn't want out yet. This is where they go.
Mhm.
Hi,
But
Sharp Entertainment.
yeah,
Hello,
but
hello.
y'all act like you can't send a cake Shabooty's way, which is funny because he earned the cake. He earned the cake, but you can't send him a cake. You're listening, but you can't send a cake. So it kind of irritated me.
It
Yeah.
should have been a cake with a crown.
Well, like if they are, since they are listening, let me lecture them. No, I'm kidding. No, but one thing I will say is, no, actually, I should lecture them on one thing is because again, there was when the Happily Ever After cast got leaked or whatever, and that was like a mainstream outlet kind of leaked that. But then at that point, the cat was out the bag. It wasn't just like, it was a pretty major source leaked it out. And then I know they were like holding it for I don't know if it's like Tuesday or Wednesday to release the trailer. So they were all planned to release a trailer and the like the promo photos to go along with the trailer. And that was like the big push, like the marketing day release was already planned out for that day. But I feel like my advice is like when there's like a big leak like that, they should be a little more agile on their on their like release dates and say at that point, okay, this is like leaked out everywhere. Let the cast like acknowledge that they're going to be on the show at that point. And then, again, I mean, this is only a difference of a few days, but like and be agile enough to say, oh, you know what, it leaked out from a major source. We might as well just like drop the trailer like a couple days early because everyone's already excited. So let's just like because that happens a lot too. Like for example, in the video game world, when like a trailer, because sometimes like a company will put a trailer on like YouTube and they meant to like private it or something, and then accidentally post it like publicly. So somebody like downloads it and reposts it, and then the trailer.
That happened with one of the tell-alls the
Yeah.
tell-all that Angela was in with Michael.
Yeah. So, but
Yeah,
Where
they
the first
actually,
30
yeah, you're right.
minutes
my point
or
is like
40 minutes was
when something
leaked.
gets leaked out, like stop being such hard asses and say, all right, let's just put the trailer out a couple days early ourselves and let's like let the cast acknowledge it because it's now already out there. Like be a little
Yeah,
agile.
yeah, you should
I have
capitalize.
something to say to them. Do better.
Yeah,
Do
they
better.
should capitalize on the buzz. When the information gets out and everyone is talking about it, you need to capitalize on that at that moment. Kind of like when we broke Jasmine's pregnancy, we forced them to release her acknowledging the pregnancy a lot faster than they anticipated. She denied it at first, but then that they went on and released it a lot earlier than they had anticipated. I think after we broke the story, I think maybe a month later or less, she finally made the video and said that she was. But that was way ahead of when they wanted to do it, because they knew at that point, if they continued to lie about it, it wasn't going to end well,
I
right?
mean, so like, I assume their goal was, at least in their deluded dream world, is it would be under wraps until she walked out on the tell-all. I assume that was her hope or something.
Yeah, I think that was their hope, but that was the most ridiculous mindset, that you can hide a pregnant person from the world, a very recognizable person, right? Jasmine has done back-to-back seasons of 90 Day. She's very recognizable. She's almost as recognizable as Angela and Darcy at this point. It would be impossible for you to lock her away in a basement so nobody could see that she was pregnant. It would literally be impossible. So the idea that they even entertained the idea that they were going to be able to hide her pregnancy for, I want to say, after she filmed the tell-all, she was pregnant for another 3 months. They thought that they could hide it for that additional 3 months. That was just insanity, and whoever came up with that should be fired. It's just not possible. It's funny. I always link back to Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber keeps saying, "Oh, I hate when people bother me. I hate the paparazzi." Yet this man leaves his house 600 times a day. Every time I open my phone, Justin Bieber is going somewhere. And I was like, for somebody who doesn't want to be seen, this man is always out, always getting his picture taken. If you don't want to be seen, send a production assistant or an assistant to go get your coffee. And I was like, that's what they were kind of thinking with Jasmine. Like, oh, she never has to do anything. No one will ever notice that she's pregnant. Jasmine was literally walking with Matt with her dog and got spotted not even 3 weeks after they filmed the freaking tell-all. Like, it was like instantaneous that people realized that this woman was pregnant.
Yeah. And of course, there were the army of people in denial. But anyway, that's all in the past.
Well, yeah, they can live with their wrong take on that situation. Y'all have to live with the fact that you were wrong, right? Like, nobody told you to pick the side of the wrong side, but you did. So y'all can live with that.
True. Oh, and then I guess before we get into like hotel reviews and strip club reviews, um, I mean, I already know that your answer is going to be Tiffany, but the only other thing I was going to say is like, you think like the Huda chick from Love Island is hot in comparison to Tiffany?
Okay, so I didn't know who that was. So I'm just going based on what she looks like in the photo, because I've never actually seen
Like
Love Island.
the one thing I will say, I don't know if the photo of her I use is necessarily her best photo, so I don't know how fair it was.
She's still cute,
Yeah.
but Tiffany's hot, okay? Like, I don't, but again, I'd never watched Love Island because there's different things about Tiffany that I think make her
I think that who again, I don't really watch Love Island, even though I was considering it, but that Huda chick, I think she's like a fitness influencer too.
okay. I'm on her Instagram, and oh yeah, she's pretty. Her face is pretty, but it's
It's
not as pretty
pretty.
as Tiffany's. But oh wow, her body, okay. She's very, very beautiful. She's very beautiful. She's thick. Oh my God. Okay. Okay. I'm still gonna go with my first answer. I'm still gonna say Tiffany is beautiful, but I factor in personality and things into beauty, and I don't know anything about this girl's personality because I've never seen the show. So Tiffany's automatically got extra points because I've been watching the show for years. I've seen her on the single life. I've seen her on the actual show. I've seen her with her kids. I feel like Tiffany is a full package. But this girl might actually be a full package too. I just don't know her well enough.
True. Yeah.
Same.
I think they're both pretty hot. By the way, Gina, you sent me, is it what you just sent me? Is it strip club reviews or is it hotel reviews or is it both?
It's the hotel reviews. I'll send the strip club reviews after.
Okay.
Oh
This
yeah.
one.
So last week, Shabooty, I think you were the first person to post where Shekinah and Sarper got married. Weren't you? I'm pretty sure it was you.
The hotel?
Yeah, the actual hotel.
Thanks to Gina's info, yeah.
Yeah, Gina
Thanks
and
to Captain's picture.
yeah, Captain and Gina, they were scheming behind the scenes, and they were like, we should figure out where this hotel is. And within moments, Gina had produced a name, location, how much it costed. So I want to go through a few of those and items and details before we get into the reviews. So Gina, where is this hotel? How much does it cost? And why did she get married in it?
Oh, well, I can't answer why she got married in it.
Well, it's weird, right? Like, who gets married in a hotel?
Hold on, let me choose a random date for this hotel. What on a weekday? We'll go with it because it's cheaper. What was this dang place called again? Mondrian Hotel in
The
LA.
Mandarin? You're the Mandarin or
Mandarin.
Mandarin? Wait,
I
Shabooty
think
said that he left.
I know. I think
Can he
he
rejoin?
can.
Oh, he rejoined because I was like, I don't know what to do.
I don't know. We're just gonna keep on
Oh,
going.
hey, I'm back. Hey, I'm back. Can
Okay,
you hear me?
cool. Because I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know how to fix this. Like, what did you leave? I don't know what to do.
That was the first. I accidentally closed my Zoom app on my phone.
So I was like, how am I supposed to fix this? Zoom is like 100% your thing. I don't know what is going on.
Thank God, I was worried that like the meeting was ended or something.
I did too. I was like,
No.
well, how do we fix this? I was like, maybe I can call you on three-way and just like speakerphone you in.
Oh gosh.
Sorry, yeah, that was scary.
All right, so Gina, the name of it was the Mandarin, right? Or hold
The
on,
Mandarin.
the Mandarin Hotel.
No, I don't think that was the name.
No, that's not the name. Hold on, guys.
Wait, hold on.
Mondrian or something.
Oh, the
Yeah.
Mondrian Hotel,
Yeah.
and it's in Hollywood, California, or no, Los Angeles, California.
Mhm.
And Gina's gonna
Here it
give
is.
us how much the. Oh wait, it was the penthouse, right?
It was the penthouse.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get an idea of how much Shekinah paid for this wedding venue, which I think will be interesting because Shekinah kind of carries herself as like Tiger Lily, like this really rich lady. So I'm just curious to know how much she paid for this wedding venue.
True.
Okay. So I just booked a random date, like I'm like in September. I think I chose September 17th. It's not a weekend. And the price for the penthouse in Canadian, it's 1,199 on hotels.ca. Let me just do that conversion in US. I'm assuming it'd be like 700 to 800 US. So
Oh, I just I just copied and pasted the Instagram to the Mondrian Hotel and the Patreon if anybody wants to see photos of the actual.
if anybody wants to go.
Yeah,
Mhm.
if you want to go and get married there and have them move the bed around, I sent it to you so you can get in there.
Oh, I was pretty much on target. So it's about 882 US on like a random Wednesday, let's say.
What about like a
Um,
Saturday or something like that?
Yeah, I'm gonna choose a Saturday, a weekend now. Fuck. Sorry. Pardon my French. Let's choose a Saturday. Let's hope there's no minimum night stays. We're choosing a Saturday in September 13th. Okay.
I don't know
So
what's
let's
up with the Instagram, but all the pictures are really zoomed in to where you can't really see anything.
1,630. Well, yeah, I wonder why, because it's trash.
Yeah, I was like, it's weird. They're all zoomed in to the point where you can't see what's in the background.
So on the weekend, like on a Saturday, like I chose a non-busy season, I'm assuming. It would be about 1,204 US.
True.
I
That's
mean, it's not a Motel 6, but a wedding venue costs between 10 and 15,000. So this is a huge bargain, for what, because let's be real, look at the venue that Greg married Joan in. That was probably 10 or 15 grand.
true. Are you ready for reviews or what?
Yeah, let's get into the reviews because I'm curious. Because when she kind of got there, she basically started crying and said it was the most disgusting place he's ever been. So let's see what it really is.
Well, the thing is, here's the thing. There are so many one-star reviews about the same debauchery, but they weren't funny. Like some of these reviews, they're not going to be too hilarious. I just chose the best ones just to get a rough idea, whether it items being stolen from the hotel room, or like not getting a refund, people getting the proper refunds on time, right? And just going through a ring around. I kind of deleted those. There was like 40 or 50 of them that I did a process of
Yeah.
elimination on. So these were the ones that made the final cut.
So
Okay.
wait, how many stars is it rated like average?
Well, hotels.com rates it a 4.5 star.
Oh, okay. There's just a shit ton of reviews. Okay, okay, let's get into it.
All right. All right. Let's get. Should I saw that one about the pool, Gina. Should I say that?
Yeah. Let's save that one for last because I think
Okay, I'll say that
it's
one for
going to
last.
be
Okay.
saving grace.
I here goes. Save your comments until I finish reading. This is a one-star review from Arson, Arsen, not Arson. Anyway, he or she, I don't know. It says, I stayed in this hotel and paid 5-star hotel price. The service was horrible. The room was like 2-star. The toilet was not working. The people on top of me were playing music and having a party until 2 a.m. I called downstairs and complained 5 times regarding the noise, and they keep telling me that they will send somebody. At the end, I had to call myself to get one of the people from the hotel and go with them upstairs. The parking was $75 a night, which is outrageous. The whole experience was horrible, 1 stars.
So the toilet didn't work. There was a party going. I wonder if it was Shekinah's wedding. There's a party going on upstairs, and it was $75 a night to park. Huh. Okay. All right. All right. Okay.
Sure. Okay, here's a 1 star from Nina. It says the rest of the staff and team were great except for the reception manager, Kyra. They treated my sister and I, who booked the hotel suite via Amex Platinum, so rudely. She did not know we extended another day, and instead of communicating with us, she did not see the change. She sent she did not see the change, so she sent security to our room to pack up our things and escort us out of the hotel as if we were criminals, and took her a while to listen that we were extended. I never had such an attitude from a manager before. 1 stars.
Holy shit. So they extended the room and they didn't know, and then they have them removed. Damn, this is wild. This is wild.
Here's a 1 star from 360 Aesthetics. They say 1 star awful hotel, tiny stuffy rooms, poor service, no room service, bad value for money, tiny pool cannot seat more than 10 people, and then they put reserved on everything. The music plays until 2 or 3 a.m. and I cannot sleep. It's not stated anywhere either. Poor service by the pool. You'll probably die of thirst before being noticed. I would never stay again or recommend to anyone. Honestly, ruined my entire trip. I spoke to others in the hotel who also left to go to another hotel during their stay. 1 stars. And then real quick, the hotel replied in the owner section. It says, I apologize that we did not meet your expectations. If you would like to give us another chance, please reach out to me and I will look after your visit, from the hotel manager.
Oh, so they're replying. Oh, okay.
By the way, Gina, should I read all of the hotel replies or are they not?
No, they're kind of,
Okay.
customer servicey.
Yeah, okay. All right, here's a 1 star from Josh. I don't know if it's like the Josh,
Would
a bad boy.
it surprise me?
True. Okay, here's a 1 star from Josh. It says, the hotel's pool area is fully open to the public. We were full paying guests, but had nowhere to sit or lounge around. Instead, we noticed Ubers dropping off individuals and they would just walk into the pool area, no key or ID required. The view is not bad, but they really, really need to clean the pool. It was pretty dirty, so that's a bummer. I agree with other previous guests that this is a party hotel. It was loud day and night, difficult to sleep and relax in the room with the obnoxious noise. We also noticed 2 cockroaches in the tub, but we took care of that ourselves, so no big deal there. I've stayed at 6 others. I've stayed at 6 others in the area, and this is by far my least favorite. The hotel is not intended for people who want to relax and enjoy a nice clean pool. No peace and quiet at this hotel. Good luck. 1 stars.
Cockroaches, though,
Mm.
that's wild. Well, the fact that you can just take a Uber and go get in the pool, that's crazy. Because like, there's community pools like where I live, where like it goes with the subdivision that you live in, but they check like you have to have like a little card or like a little wristband, so you don't just get
Or
right.
your ID, right? To
Yeah,
identify
you
your
have to
address.
prove that you live in the subdivision so you can use the stuff because we have like pools and basketball, football court, all of the stuff. But you got to at least prove that you live there. It's not just for the whole post. So they just letting people roll up in Ubers and get in the pool. That's wild.
Yeah, that sounds like some touristy shit or something.
That's how people's shit is missing. You imagine if you're at the pool and you leave something at the lawn chair and some random person is there, they just steal your shit. That's exactly what happens.
True. Okay, here's a 1 star from Miriam. She says, I'm staying at this hotel's fifth floor as I'm writing this. We checked in yesterday, and frankly, I'm very disappointed. I expected to be offered something at the arrival, water maybe. Our car got damaged by the valet parking staff. The room looks like from last century. Curtains are dirty, towels and bed mattresses are poor quality and very old. So far, this is the worst hotel in our trip in California. The only positive feedback I can give is that the bar and pool area are awesome. The views of the city are outstanding, 1 stars.
Oh, well, at least it has nice views, right?
Mhm. Okay, here's a Caroline 1 star. The beds were dirty when we checked in. The towels were dirty. The bathroom door didn't slide closed. The toilets took multiple flushes every time. Due to this and the door not closing, we had to use the washrooms in the lobby in the hotel across the street. Housekeeping would come in either at 8:20 a.m. or 6 p.m. after, asked that they come during the 8 hours we were gone during the day. I've stayed at the Mondrian before and enjoyed my visit. This was not an enjoyable visit. I would not book there again and advise others to book elsewhere, 1 star. Maybe she had to flush multiple times because she was dropping off a lot of kids at the pool. You know what I
A
mean?
lot of loads.
Is that wrong that that's what I thought? Like, I was like, maybe that's you and not the toilet.
It was. Reading the other reviews. It was pretty common, but this one was the funnier one out of all of them. So
Okay. All right. Well,
Oh,
here's what.
so the toilets were just shitty in all the rooms?
hmm
Okay.
Sure. All right, here's 1 star from Kelly. She says, I stayed there on a Wednesday night, 24-hour room service, and it took 4.5 hours for fresh fruit and ice. Not to mention, you cannot get alcohol 24 hours, but you can walk down to the pool area and get it yourself. $700 a night, sweet, and it was the worst experience. Do not stay there ever, 1 star.
700 a night for a place that you have to flush multiple times. This is crazy. Like, the fact that, and there's cockroaches in the tub.
Mhm.
Like, I can't. And then you got to kill your own cockroaches. Like, no, you got to kill. No, I'm not doing that.
Here's a 1 star from Garrett. He says, do not get fooled by the high ratings. This hotel is nothing but old, dilapidated, and dirty rooms crawling with drunk tourists. The thumping bass music from the outdoor bar area goes until 2 a.m., and you will hear it from every room in the hotel. It will keep you awake. Some staff is helpful, most are not. No one answers the front desk phone. Stay away from this nightmare. 1 stars.
That is true though. They have 4 point something stars and it's a dump. That's why I never consider reviews to be legit. Y'all want to hear something weird sidebar? I probably should not talk about this, but one of my friends, I got to be really vague. They owned a company and they sold like clothing and shoes and other items. And we had a review ring where we contracted people to write fake reviews.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is allegedly. I don't want to get in trouble. And we had a ring of people that would go and just write really good reviews for products that were being sold at this company, and it was not legit. So I don't take like reviews to be real because I was people were getting paid
Mm-hmm.
to put out fake reviews. I don't want to say I was, but people are getting paid to put out fake reviews. So when you see a company has like really good ratings, it's probably bullshit.
Mm-hmm. True. All right, well, here's Matthew with his 1 star review, but I'm going to believe Matthew. It says, this place was an embarrassment. The service was awful. The pool was dirty, overly crowded, and insanely obnoxious. Some guy with his girlfriend was talking about selling stolen jewelry in front of us when we were there walking to the exclusive pool party. The pool party was an embarrassment of his histrionic, attention-seeking stereotypes, all sitting around the pool trying to hit on each other's boyfriends and girlfriends. I think they were just letting anyone in off the street for the quote big party, which takes the pool area away from the paying guests. Trashy, right? My boyfriend and I laughed and walked out and told the manager we wanted to leave. He didn't seem to care and let us go. The valet cost $60 for guests daily. Laugh out loud. And the guys taking the cars didn't even have a uniform and dressed like they were coming right off the streets. Very disinterested in the reputation of the hotel, apparently. We went down the street and stayed at La Park Suites, and it was perfect for my boyfriend and I. We settled in and then went dancing right up the street in West Hollywood. Thankfully, we left the Mondrian before our weekend was ruined by garbage. 1 stars.
So the valet with no uniforms is crazy to me because I've watched like those criminal shows like Live PD and stuff. I've seen situations where people thought it was a valet and it was just someone stealing their car. So when I heard that, I was like, wait, so yeah, you got to have a valet and they have to have a name tag and it has to say like the name of the place on it because you can't just be handing your keys to just anybody. So when they were like, oh, they
Especially in LA.
I know, because I was like, can you imagine pulling up somewhere and you valet, and then when you go to leave to get your car, you're like, oh, I just want to do valet, and the front desk is like, we don't have valet. You're like, oh shit, I just gave my car away.
I just tipped a homeless dude with my car and money.
Right? So yeah, that took me for a loop because I do love valet, but you have to be very precautious when it comes to valet. You have to see a name tag. They got to have on. You should see at least 3 or 4 people wearing the same exact thing, just so you know that it's like organized. It's like they all work there. Like you got to have very what do you call it? Intricate detail. Like you need to know exactly what's going on because you would not believe how many random people walk up to a nice establishment and hand their keys to the first person that reaches for them and don't even check to see if it's a real valet.
Sure.
And they're usually in a uniform.
Yeah. Here's a 1 star from Yara Wang. Is no relation to Vera Wang.
Probably not because it has to do with this hotel. I feel like Vera Wang would never go to this hotel.
So here's Yara Wang. I assume it's a woman. I don't know. She says, I had a drink at the bar where I sat on a bench and a roach crawled next to me. So I went over to the bartender and let him know and showed him a picture. He basically shrugged me off and told me it's a housekeeping problem and to speak to the front desk. So I went to the front desk to let them know where I was told that if I wanted to cancel. Okay, sorry. I went to the front desk where I let them know, and that's where I was told that if I wanted to cancel my reservation, I could. My experience has not been pleasant since my arrival. 1 stars.
Wow.
Yeah, it seems like the people that work there are like too tired to give a fuck about your cockroach problem.
Well, if the company doesn't care, then why should the employees
should
care?
you? Exactly. And if they can still get away with charging $700 a night with cockroaches, that's what the whole thing is just wild to me because it's like if I'm staying somewhere and I see a cockroach, I want every freaking penny back. Like I want a refund. So like the fact that they can still pay because some of the people just said, "Oh yeah, we saw the cockroaches, we just killed them." They didn't even ask for a refund.
Okay, here's a 1 star review from Pasky. They say, I don't know about the hotel, only the bar, swimming pool, but don't lose your time there if you don't have the perfect plastic surgery. The servers are, sorry, I just puked LA. They won't serve you unless you look fake. Very classy. You got 1 star rating, but it is not wanted at all. 1 stars. So it sounds like that's why Shekinah likes it because it's like you have to have fake ass plastic surgery. That's when you'll get served well at the pool, at the bar.
Oh, well, yeah. She fits the bill perfectly.
No wonder it's her favorite hotel.
Well, yeah, because if you don't have fake tits and a fake ass and Botox in your face, you're invisible. So she feels like she's the Queen of England there.
True. Here's a 1 star review from Holly. It says, I won a trip to go to the VMAs and they booked me in this hotel. Absolutely hated it. I'm from New Jersey and the people were completely different. Plastic surgery and Barbie-like girls running everywhere. The hotel had way too much air freshener. I could taste it as soon as I walked in. It took an hour and a half to get our luggage as we called for, or after we called Sorry, let me read that again. It took an hour and a half to get our luggage after we called for it. The parking is ridiculous. You have to tip every single time you get your car, too. I ended up tipping the valet guy 3 times in one day. Water pressure in the shower was horrible, and there was hair in the bed. Oh, and I'm 24 and wasn't allowed in the pool area unless I had my license, not even to take a picture. If you were under 21, you weren't allowed in the pool area at all. Absolutely ridiculous hotel. I would never stay there again. 1 stars.
Why do you gotta be 21 to swim? That's
Probably
I
because
get.
I guess it's because they serve alcohol.
like a bar slash pool or
Oh,
something.
so there's like a
Pool.
bar there.
Yeah.
That's lame though. Like if you want to swim, because I can't swim, so I would drink. But like, what if it was vice versa? What if I could swim and I didn't want to drink? Like that is annoying. And why would you have your license if you're in a swimsuit? Where would you put it? Like where would you put it? Would you like put it
In your boobs.
in your boobs? I don't have that. Like where would I have to? Like I don't know. That whole thing is irritating.
I don't know, but here's a 1 star review from Jason. It says the Mondrian was recommended by an agency I was working with. When I arrived in my room, I found an open bottle of champagne and 2 dirty flutes on the table, along with an open bag of popcorn and another open bottled water on the nightstand. I brought this to the attention of the front desk clerk, and he told me, quote, "You can have them." When I said I didn't want them, he said housekeeping would be right up. I returned from dinner and housekeeping had never come. I was in for an additional shock in the morning when I got into the shower and found open toiletries. I questioned whether the sheets were ever changed. Oh, and I had a package overnighted to the hotel before I arrived. They wanted an extra fee to bring it up to my room. Every other hotel has always had my packages waiting in my room when I checked in. If I'm ever in West Hollywood again, I'll find a different place to stay. 1 stars.
So they wanted him to pay to have it brought up. This is crazy. I don't think I've ever had nothing shipped to a hotel before. I don't think I was at a hotel long enough to have stuff shipped. But I don't know. I mean, I guess if you hold it for me, I would have to pay you, right? I don't know. I don't know the price.
Mhm. Oh, we have a review from Lana, but I don't think it's our Lana. Lana says 1 star. Well, 1 star. In the website, okay, on the website, there are old photos. The restaurant does not belong to the hotel, and there's no breakfast, lunch, and or dinner. Everything is fully booked months in advance. This is not a 4 star. It's more like a hostel. 1 star.
Damn. Hostile. That's wild.
Uh, Here's a 1 star from Audio Sport. They say bad service, dirty toilet. The toilet didn't work. I paid $600 for a very bad hotel. Don't waste your money. Stay at Pendry or Ad, uh, Andaz across the street. Rude staff, overcharged valet fees. While we were at the pool, 2 of the employees there, they were fighting each other. The male employee was punching the female cook employee. It's a disaster hotel. Totally rip off. 1 stars.
Oh, so there was like a full-on fight.
Yeah, let me read what the owner says. They replied. It says, "Thank you for choosing to stay at the Mondrian Los Angeles and for your candid feedback. Please be assured that the issues you experienced were being looked into and addressed, and we will use this to further improve our services. We sincerely hope that you will give us another chance and we could turn around your experience." I thought they made updates on the fight though.
Yeah, he didn't mention anything about the fight. I mean, I I ain't gonna lie, I do like it when people start fighting when I'm places, so I can like it's fun to watch people fight.
It is fun to watch. You're just like, oh, that's entertaining. Okay.
Yeah, it's like live TV happening in your face. But
Mhm.
I don't. I it has to be like just people physically fighting. I don't want anyone to start shooting at each other because I'm there.
No, no, no.
You know,
We don't want
but I
that.
do love it when two people start fighting somewhere because I'm like, ooh, 2 for 1, like live entertainment.
Sure, here's a 1 star review from Vanessa. She says, it's not all it's cracked up to be. The bathroom sink had no hot water. The bed made old crinkly sounds like memory foam gone bad. Need a ladder to get into the tub for a shower. Room service was bland except the coconut sorbet. I used Amex points for this place and I should have saved them. 1 stars.
Oh, wait, one person said they didn't have room service, then this person said room service sucked. Now I have questions because I was like, did
No,
they?
the one person said they waited 4 hours for room service to get fruit,
Oh, to answer the phone?
to get the fruit
Oh, to get
The
the
room
fruit. Okay,
service
okay,
took,
okay.
yeah,
So they
4
do have
hours.
room service, but it just don't. It shows up whenever the hell it wants to. Okay, I got it. I got it.
Mhm.
Okay, here's a one-star review from Ronnie. It says, all I can say was I brought the new year in with a bitter bartender whom I was tipping all night to be told off by the guy that I wasn't. And then the other bartender took my $100 for $30 with worth of drinks and disappeared. Laugh out loud, wow. Anyway, almost got into a fight with some Guido motherfucker until my team found out it was Yaya from Sandlot. Laugh out loud, 1 stars. Who's Ya? I need to look up Yaya from Sandlot.
I'm looking it up now. Alan Yaya McLennan, from Sandlot. Well, there's a mugshot of him, so I'm assuming he's a good time. So, um,
True. Yeah, I recognize him from the movie, I guess.
yeah, interesting. So that's who they were fighting with.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
he hangs out there, so that's something.
true. You could see has-been child actors, yeah.
He looks awful, by the way. He looks awful, by the way. Like Jesus.
True. Okay, here's a one-star review from Becca. She says, the hotel staff are a disgrace. The waitresses are not interested in the women and are chasing the rich men. The male staff think they're hot models with arrogance and attitude. Very arrogant hotel, 1 stars.
Oh, the whole building is arrogant now.
Mhm.
Jesus.
Here's a 1 star from Sempre. I've been there. Honestly, this place is cheap, fake, and is the worst. The food sucks. You should see the kitchen. A lot of roaches everywhere. I don't know how they got 5 stars. I'll tell you the truth. I work there. 1 star.
Wait, there's roaches in the kitchen?
Yeah, and this is from a worker, allegedly.
Oh no. See, I can't. This is why I don't like to eat out. See, this is why. And you know that worker's telling the truth. You know they are.
Mhm. Okay, 1 star.
Former worker, baby.
1 star review from Sean. It says the bed was horrible, springs popping through. I slept on the couch. 1 stars.
This is crazy that people in LA will pay $700 to sleep on the couch. Like I would demand a refund. Like I guess I'm just a Karen because I'll be like, I ain't
Well, you
sleeping.
would demand a refund and you would never get it back because that's what a lot of the complaints were.
Oh, so they say that. Oh, okay. So they just don't care. Once they get your money, they got your money.
Mm-hmm.
Ready for the money shot review? George.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, it's only like there's only 4 words on this review. It's 1 star from Global Triathlon Network. 1 star. It says terrible semen filled pool. 1 stars.
What? What? How the whole pool?
I don't know, but the pool is filled with semen allegedly.
Oh, that's disgusting. But how do you fill a whole pool? I have so many questions on that. Like, no, it's not humanly possible to have a pool
Well,
filled.
like I'm wondering, are they talking about the public pool with the bar, or are they talking about like a pool in your room? I mean, like a hot tub in your room or something? Or
I think they're talking about the pool, like the amenity pool. Amenities are like the amenity fees. That's where a lot of people are complaining about too, but they're irrelevant. They're like $30, and people are complaining we didn't get to use shit. The Wi-Fi costs money. The pool's always booked up with private parties. We didn't get to do shit.
I'm just trying to understand how it was filled with that though. Like, and I have so many questions, but I don't think I want to know the answer to them. So I don't know.
okay, well that was
I'll
the
send
last.
the pictures of the pool in
Did it have
Patreon.
like, was it milky looking? Like, I have a million questions now.
I don't know. We were gonna have to have Gina go there in person and like examine the gym.
No, I don't. No, I'm not going to LA. No, thank you. Sorry, Amberlee, but yeah, no, no, no. I'm not going to LA anytime soon.
You don't want
Nope.
the Marines like fucking with you. Okay.
Yeah, no, I want to come back to my country. I'm sorry. But yeah, I'm going to Vegas at the end of the month. So yeah.
True. So wait, were you gonna send us a picture of the pool, or are you putting in the
I
Patreon?
did. I
Oh,
already put it in the Patreon.
okay. I never checked the Patreon during the show.
Okay. I'll send it in the group
No,
chat.
no, I'm looking at it now.
Wait, where'd you send it?
to the
Patreon.
I don't see it. Oh wait, it might be above this.
I see it. So
is it the one? Do I have to click on it?
No.
Oh, I see it. I see it. No, that doesn't look like it's filled with semen. It looks normal.
Yeah, but those are like hotel pictures. Those are professional pictures.
You're right. You're right. It actually looks really nice because that's a rooftop pool. It looks
I'll
nice.
have to go on Yelp for actual, like.
Well,
people
yeah, we gotta see it from
posting
the point of
pictures.
view of a regular person to know what it really looks like. But
Yeah,
that makes me never want to get in a pool. Like what that's scary to think that. Ugh.
true. Now since it's like 1:40 a.m., I was thinking maybe we should save the strip club reviews for like maybe Sunday night or something.
yeah. There's only like maybe 7 or 8 of them, so we can definitely do that.
Yeah, let's do that because I'm pretty tired.
Beat.
Yeah, I was tired before the show, but then I got a second wind during the show.
Well, you guys did a show last night too, and it was a good show too. So, and if you haven't joined the Patreon, you need to because that's the only way you're going to be able to hear the show that happened last night. So you don't want to miss out. It was actually really good. Shabooty, in a rare occasion, told a very personal and crazy story that you will never ever hear again unless you subscribe to the Patreon so you can hear it.
Yeah, I had Jenny pulled it out of me. I couldn't tell her. I had to bring something to the table because she was sharing all her stories.
Well, yeah, it was kind of a competition at that point. And you're like, well, I gotta bring something, too. She was bringing all the craziness. He was like, well, I wanna compete, and he surprised everyone with his story. So,
Oh, and I will say one thing about that story. I'm not gonna get into like the intimate part of it, but like when I said I probably should have like explained better. So when I said like king size bag of M&Ms, I mean like a super giant size bag of M&Ms, not like there's regular size M&Ms and there may be like king size and there's like a one that's even bigger than king size. It's like the big ass thing M&Ms. Bigger.
yeah, those are called sharing size.
Yeah, sharing size, yeah.
So, random question:
Yeah,
Why
don't ask sexual stuff, but go ahead, ask about M&Ms again.
why was he eating such a big ass bag of M&Ms?
This is back way. I don't know. I don't know why they were having a giant ass bag of M&Ms, but
Was she like a plump individual or
no, but I
no? Oh, okay.
assume this day and age she probably is, but back then no.
Oh, okay. Because so when you were telling the story and I heard the size of the bag, I had like a visual in my head of like a
No,
larger.
she's beautiful, but
Oh, okay. Well, see, my visual was wrong because I was thinking of like a very large girl.
No,
Like
he said that she looked like a Lindsay Lohan.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Did you miss that part?
It threw me when you were like she was eating like a garbage bag
No,
size bag of
I don't
it.
know why she was having a garbage bag size M&Ms, but she was. But anyway,
That was like for some reason of all the things that happened in that story, that's what stuck with me.
yeah, that's the
I was like,
funniest part. But it's
that's a weird thing to do, right before you do that, just to eat a humongous bag of M&Ms. But
I think it's like it was a living and learning experience.
well, yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the last time she ate a sharing size bag of M&Ms right before. So I'm pretty sure that never happened again.
Yeah. So anyway, if you're curious what we're talking about, pony up some money. You can hear Jenny and I's intimate stories.
Yeah, it's only $5, guys. It's not a lot of money, and it was hilarious. I listened to it, and it was hilarious. I literally couldn't stop laughing. It was crazy.
When Jen
I was listening to it at work, and then I came back from going to the lunchroom to get something, and I thought my headphones were on. No, and I pressed play, and here's Jenny talking about
Costa Rica,
her adventure in Costa Rica, and right when the part where it wasn't PG.
when the guy went,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
I was just like,
hear
oh
it?
my God, stop, 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 stop.
Did your coworker
Uh,
see it?
Oh,
that's
I just pretended that it didn't come from me and just, continued working.
Yeah,
That's
the one thing I will say, if you listen to that episode from yesterday, definitely either use headphones or don't be around, just be around other adults, let's just say.
Yeah, be mindful of who can hear it. Sometimes we get a little potty mouth on the show, so it's not always suitable for work, right? Not for everybody to hear if you're in the lunchroom.
No, but my headphones disconnected. I was listening to them on my beats, and my like it just
You know
fucking
what
disconnected.
that reminds me of the meme. It's like a meme that I've seen on Instagram. It's a girl, she's listening to like one of those really smutty books in her earplugs, but then her husband comes home and it connects to his car and he hears what she's listening to, and it's like a little meme that I've seen. It's hilarious because it's like the most inappropriate, awful, terrible, vulgar stuff that you could ever hear. And then the husband is like, and then she realizes that it's not in her ear anymore, and then she runs to try to disconnect it from his car, but it's too late.
True. All right, well, yeah, it's pretty late. It's almost 2 a.m. Eastern, so
It's only 10:45 here.
yeah, well, since I'm tired, I assume Lana's like in good health, meaning like she.
Oh yeah. Lana, yeah, she just commented. Lana's good and safe, which makes me really happy. And maybe on Sunday
Hmm.
we'll get a little more information on
Okay.
what took place in Fresno, because that's scary. Like to see shots firing off. That's kind of like what's going on in other parts of the world. You see, bombs and stuff going on. That's some scary shit.
Hmm.
So yeah, anyway, I guess I'll say yes, Sunday we'll try to, if try to slip in some strip club reviews and catch up with Lana amongst other things. So
So I'm just posting pictures from Yelp of the pool and a dirty ass toilet.
Oh, I do see the
Probably
dirty
would.
toilet. Why is there so much stuff on the floor in the bathroom? That
I
is
think that's like one of the pool bathrooms or the lobby bathroom.
Well, the pool still doesn't look like it's filled with semen, but it's still not like amazing either, though.
mhm.
Well, let me show you. I'll send one of the pool party pictures. There's a lot of people there. That's not my cup of tea.
True. All right, well, let's end the show. Okay.
All right. Oh yeah, I see it. I see it. It's like sardines. All right, guys. If you're not on the Patreon and you want to see the photos of the pool and everything, make sure you join and listen
Okay.
to a Patreon only episode from yesterday. And we hope that you enjoyed tonight's show. And we will be back on Sunday for the finale of season 11, 9 Day Fiance.
True. All right. Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for listening to 90 Day Fiance Fridays on
On a Friday.
Peace.
Peace out, everybody.